Welcome into the Brick Lane pregame show. I'm Josh Sperber alongside Aussie Mike. It's a hot one out here in Melbourne today, and it might have been even hotter last night. The Aces getting a walk-off victory against the first-place Adelaide Giants. And what a game. I mean, it left me speechless at the end of that, honestly.
Last night, the vibes were electric. Really fun night overall. Now, it was a game in which the Aces were up 5-0, and then they lost that lead all in one inning in the middle of frames. But give this Aces team credit. They're a resilient bunch all season long. They came back, did what they needed to do. Can't say enough about the job that Scott Harkin did. 5 shutout innings, and then the bullpen after him really did the job finishing it off. But some timely hits last night. That's what this team's been missing a lot this season. But it all came together, and they got a dub, and it was incredible.
One of the best games of the season in front of the biggest crowd of the season, 1,800 plus strong last night. Really appreciate you Aces fans for coming out and supporting this team all year long, and I honestly think the crowd was a big reason why the Aces won the game.
Oh, no doubt. I mean, the Aces have such a home field advantage here in Melbourne with the people that pack this place. I mean, they're not just here; they're into it. They're into the game. They're firing up the team on the field. They're firing us up in the broadcast booth. So it's just a lot of fun to be part of and see how many people in the Melbourne area show out for these games. And it's contagious. I mean, the atmosphere was incredible, and I expect more of it tonight.
More of the same. Certainly the Aces are hoping for, not just because of the victory for them. Perth taking the loss, same score, same walk-off fashion against the Canberra Cavalry. So the Aces' playoff chances are just that much better heading up into the second half of round 9 and a potentially winner-take-all round 10.
Look, there's still a lot of baseball left to be played this season. Look, the Aces have 7 big games left to play, and they all mean something. And right now, they just have to control what they can control, go out and get a good W tonight, take a series lead. And I got to believe they're going to do it. They got Steve Kent on the mound, a guy that everybody should trust on the bump late in the season during a playoff push. And the way the bats, picked up the slack last night, I got to expect more of the same.
And Kent has been excellent since being promoted from the bullpen to the starting rotation. He's gotten in and out of both in his career, but what have you seen from him since becoming a starter these last couple games?
Well, it's a role that he's really comfortable with. He's pitched in a starting role a lot throughout his ABL career, and he's a guy who gets stronger as he goes, so when he's got more time to get in a groove out there and settle in, use all of his pitches to his advantage, use both sides of the plate, go up, down, I think it suits him really well. So with the wind blowing out tonight to center, that's going to be an issue for both pitchers out there, but Kent keeps the ball down in the zone, so I think he's going to fare well, get some ground ball outs, and that's going to bode well for him moving forward.
And what also might bode well is the potentially superstitious side of Peter Moylan, the exact same batting order 2 nights in a row. First time we've seen that all season.
Hey, just keep it rolling. Hey, things worked last night. 7 runs on 10 hits. Up and down the lineup, contributors. 7 different guys drove in a run last night, which was really impressive to see everybody contribute. This is a team game, and that was a team win last night. Just keep it rolling, and, just the only thing different, the guy on the mound, and see if the Aces can rack up another W.
Well, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. And the Aces fixing to get their second straight win tonight against the Adelaide Giants. Stay tuned for Aces baseball coming up soon, right after the Brick Lane pregame show.
Fresh off an extra inning walk-off win in last night's ballgame, the Melbourne Aces are back looking to make it 2 in a row against the visiting Adelaide Giants. Game 3 of a 4-game set between these two long-rivaled clubs. Michael Marcantonini, Josh Sperber with you in the broadcast booth as we welcome you into tonight's broadcast. We'll have Ed Wyatt joining us in the booth for a few innings later tonight. Well, Josh, that was really fun last night. You got a chance to call the walk-off. The vibes were incredible in the ballpark. Jared Dale sent the Aces home winners with the line drive single to center. 7-6 dub for the Aces in 10 innings.
It's like we said, in the pregame show, the team just delivered last night. The biggest crowd that we've seen all season, and it was just a really great game. There was one tough inning, that top of the 6th, but other than that, it was just all Aces, and they really made it a fun one.
Well, it's a hot one in the Melbourne area today. I'll have Josh tell you more about that on the Vibrant Services Weather Report.
Yeah, I mean, the graphic could just read too darn hot. 36 degrees Celsius is definitely a bit too spicy for a baseball game, but a little bit of wind, a little bit humid, not too humid, but no rain. A really nice day for baseball, all heat aside.
Definitely a hot one. The hottest game we've had in a couple weeks here at Melbourne Ballpark, but again, it should be a fun one. Before the national anthem in a couple minutes, let's get into the starting lineup for the Melbourne Aces. So for the Aces, leading off in left field, it's Chris Burke. He's had a solid go of it at the plate lately, and Burke continues to be a force in that leadoff spot. Batting second, it's the shortstop, Robbie Glendinning, who had a quiet night last night. He has been the Aces' most consistent bat all season long. Batting third, it's the designated hitter, Jake Scully, gets another night off his feet, just getting a chance to swing the bat. He scored the winning run last night. Batting fourth is the first baseman, Darryl George. He had a big home run to open the scoring for the Aces. In the 5-hole, it's Ryan Lavarnway, the catcher, who has been really good since he made his Aces debut in round 7. Batting sixth at third base, it's Jared Dale. He was the walk-off hero in last night's game, delivered a single to center field to send the Aces home winners. Batting seventh in center field, it's Aaron Whitefield, who had a double down the left field line, looking to get his bat going. In the 8th hole, it's the right fielder, Jacob Robson, who continues to find ways on base for this Aces team down at the bottom of the order. And rounding out the lineup, batting ninth, it's the second baseman, George Khalil, who had another double in last night's game, back-to-back games with a double for George. And on the mound for the Aces, it's left-hander Steve Kent, who makes his third start of the season, 12th appearance overall, and that is your Melbourne Aces starting lineup. Well, we will take a pause for the rest of the national anthem here on Aces TV.
It's time to head down to the diamond for the first time tonight. Say good day to
Back with you in the broadcast booth, Michael Marcantonini and Josh Sperber getting set for Game 3 of 4 between the Giants and the Aces in Round 9. The Giants have already clinched a playoff spot, and they look to clinch a division title. They have not yet clinched the Southwest Division. The Perth Heat rolling late in the season. They are on their tails. So with the Perth Heat winning their game tonight, big over Canberra, that puts even more pressure on the Aces tonight, Josh, to stave off elimination and keep their playoff hopes alive. And while Steve Kent's throwing his warm-up tosses, let's get tonight's keys to the game and a big game for the Aces.
Yeah, I mean, as you said, it's really backs against the wall time for the Aces, so they just need to keep it rolling. They got to stay hot, just basically continue what they did last night, because frankly that worked out pretty well. Really solid offensive game. Again, a tough top of the 6th inning was the only blemish. Other than that, a really solid all-around performance. And you got to keep in mind, you can't see it as much right now, but the wind's blowing out to the outfield right now. So the Aces do have a tendency to hit the ball up in the air quite a bit. They got to use that wind to their advantage, maybe get a couple balls out of the park to help their cause and improve their offense today. And we have another big crowd tonight. Won't be as big as the 1801 strong that we had last night, but just use that energy, get the crowd behind you, and get another win.
Well, I'll tell you what, Josh, nobody's going to have a problem staying hot tonight. It is very, very hot here in the Melbourne area, 36 degrees like you mentioned on the weather report. In terms of feel the breeze, I'd love to get a breeze up here in the booth, but you are right. The wind blowing out to left today. See if that is a factor. And, of course, the crowd energy. Everything fell into place last night. Great crowd, a walk-off win, fireworks show after. Aces looking for another dub tonight, looking to start up a streak, make it 2 in a row. So here's Steve Kent making his third start for the Aces. He gets Nick Ward, Michael Martinez, and Anthony Kirion, the top 3 in the Giants order.
And don't forget tonight also, and right throughout the weekend, is our membership drive for 2023-24. That's for next season. You can fly with the Aces by purchasing a membership tonight here at the ballpark at this year's prices. Prices will go up as of the 1st of March. So if you want to be a Melbourne Aces member, whether that's an adult, child or family membership, you can get involved tonight. And we'll have people, our staff, walking around during the middle of the third innings and the bottom of the seventh to sign you up.
Cantonini and Josh Sperber bringing you the action on Aces TV. Appreciate anyone who is tuned into our coverage. Of course, appreciate the support we've gotten all season. While we have some time here before the bottom of the first inning, while Starlin Castillo is throwing his warm-up tosses for Adelaide, I want to remind fans that now's the time to save on memberships for next season, so you can save an average of $65 per membership when you sign up today with early bird pricing. That's for 2023-2024 Aces membership. So if you already have a membership and you want to renew it, or if you want to become a member and you're not one currently, now's the time to do it. Get that early bird pricing, save some money, and hey, look, we've got another fun season of baseball coming up at Melbourne Ballpark next year, Josh. I mean, we've still got some games to play this year, but it's never too early to look ahead to the fun that's coming next year.
Yeah, season's certainly far from over. You're absolutely right, Mike. But, yeah, why not? It's always good to plan ahead, especially when it means coming to more Aces games.
Chris Burke, Robbie Glendinning, Jake Skoll, the top three in the order against right-hander Starlin Castillo for the Giants. Burke back in the leadoff spot. Well, actually, everybody's back in the same spot they were last night. Entire lineup 1 through 9 the same. Even positions, now Peter Moylan with his lineup, he likes to, for the most part in his infield, he likes to move Dale and Glendinning around. Sometimes we see the outfield shifted, rotate who the DH is, but tonight everything the same that we saw last night. There's the 1-1 to Burke. Hot shot to the left side, that's through into left field. So Burke beats the shift, and he's on as a leadoff base runner.
Yeah, really nice piece of hitting. Able to just inside out that pitch into left field. Not easy to beat the shift in that particular spot. That was still in the 6-4 gap there. But a really good job by Burke to get himself on.
Here's Glendinning with a man aboard. Glendinning back at short tonight. First pitch to Robbie's a fastball over the heart of the plate. It's 0-1. Glendinning hitless last night, but he walked in the 9th inning, and then he was one of the placed runners in the 10th. He scored the tying run for the Aces in an eventual 7-6 walk-off win. 0-1, swing and a miss. It's 0-2.
It was Friday the 13th in that last night. I'm pretty sure you have to call them ghost runners.
All right, that's fair. See, I usually don't call them ghost runners because I can see them. I know most people do.
That's fair.
But you're right. The Friday the 13th vibes. It was a scary night for Adelaide.
That's for sure.
Glendinning takes inside. It's 1-2. Solid numbers for Castillo this season. He's 3-2 with a 3.56 ERA and 8 starts for the Giants. 30 and a third innings of work, 26 strikeouts, 13 walks. Opponents hitting just .236 against him, so a tough task for the Aces here. He's also allowed just 1 home run, so he keeps the ball in the yard. 1-2. Slap to the left side, could be 2 to second for 1. Ward over to first, just got him. So Glendinning hits into the 5-4-3 double play, 2 up, 2 down.
He made that close, though. Good hustle down the line, but just a routine play for Ian Walters over at third base. And not what you want if you're the Aces.
Next out for your Melbourne Aces.
Here's Jake Skoll looking to keep it going.
Designated hitter, Jacob Scott.
Castillo appreciates that double play turned by his defense. Set the defense behind Castillo. Do that after this first pitch to Skoll. He swings at the first pitch and sends one out of play, foul. That gets into the seats, so Skold down on the count 0-1. Anthony Kirion behind the plate. In the infield, Ian Walters at third, Michael Martinez at short. Nick Ward's at second, and Liam Spence is the first baseman. In the outfield, Quincy Lattimore in left, Jared Carr in center, and Jordan McCardle in right. So the Adelaide batting order is the same 1 through 9. The only change is that Kirion is catching tonight. And the man who caught last night, Ryan January, is the designated hitter.
2 different lineups in 3 games for Adelaide. But again, just the defense changing. Each team opting to keep it the same because, frankly, it was a solid effort from both sides. That was one of the more balanced games that we've seen all year.
13 combined runs. Both teams had a big inning. The Aces had a 4-run frame. The Giants had a game-tying 5-run inning. And then the 10th inning featured 3 runs. Adelaide got 1 in the top half. The Aces 2 to walk it off in the bottom. 1-2, swing and a miss. So not a 1-2-3 inning for Castillo, but he sets down the Aces on just 3 batters coming to the plate. No score after a full inning of play. We'll head to the top of the second after a quick break on Aces TV.
Oh, we've been there for every game of 4 and 25. When Meatloaf overcooked it and Gregan saved that try. When Brownie takes one for the team and Bradbury skated by. This golden crusty pastry watched as Taylor kicked the sky. When Ben Simmons makes a 3, we give a big high five. What future sport looks like just won't be run without a pie. Oh, what a lovely pie, me mates are 4 and 25. Oi!
One Love is there for the moments with the people you love the most. To share the highs and the lows together. It's the one for all people, all times, and all places. Brick Lane's One Love Pale Ale. It's the one for all.
Top of the second inning at Melbourne Ballpark. No score between the Giants and the Aces in Game 3 of 4 here in Round 9. The Giants a commanding 7-0 win on Thursday night in the series opener. The Aces came right back and threw up a 7 spot of their own and won it 7-6 in 10 innings. Jared Dale a walk-off single last night. So the series even at a game apiece. See who wants to take a series lead tonight. Steve Kent and Starlin Castillo, tonight's starters, with zeros on the board in the first. Kent back to work in the the top of the second. Quincy Lattimore, Jared Carr, and Liam Spence. Lattimore's had a nice series. He homered in the series opener off Brian Flynn. That was the first of 5 that the Giants scored in the second inning that night. They cruised to a 7-0 win. And then last night, Lattimore drove in the go-ahead run in extras. The Aces came back and scored 2 in the 10th to win it. Lattimore swinging a good bat, as most of these Giants are. This is an Adelaide team that owns a .276 team batting average with an OPS just under 800 at 793. .35 games for Lattimore now. He's hitting .284. Reaching base at a .358 clip as he sends one to the backstop. But the extra base hits keep piling up for Lattimore. He's got 12, 6 doubles, 6 homers. He's driven in 29 runs, Josh. That's a lot for a 40-game season. Two-strike pitch sent out to second. Khalil stays down on it. That's an easy out, number 1 for Kent. 4 up, 4 down for the big southpaw.
And Lattimore a guy who's just done it at such a high level for so long in the ABL, abroad. I mean, just about anywhere you can think of. And a nice start to the inning for Steve Kent. Not getting those strikeout pitches that we've seen him get sometimes, but he's inducing a lot of weak contact and making it easy for his defense.
Well, the bottom of this Adelaide order features a ton of left-handed batters. Jared Carr, Jordan McCardle, and Ryan January, all lefties. In the bottom 5 of this batting order. See if Ken can take advantage of it. There's a fastball down the chute. Umpires in tonight's ball game: Warren Van Ruyen behind home plate. Ryan Harder's the first base umpire. Neil Medlin is over at third base. Tonight is Kent's 134th career ABL game. It's his 46th start. He's had 3 seasons in the ABL in which he was exclusively a starter: 2015, 2017, and 2018. In 2015, he pitched in 14 games, all starts, had a 3.04 ERA for the Cavalry. Then the next season, he pitched in 14 more games, but all out of the bullpen. And he picks up his first strikeout of the night, 5 up, 5 down for Kent. And then the 2017-18 and the 2018-19 seasons, Kent went back into the Canberra rotation. 10 starts in each of those 2 campaigns. In the second of those 2, the 2018-19 season, he had a 2.90 ERA and went 7-1. But Josh, this is a guy, whether he's starting or coming out of the bullpen, he's been really effective, and he's a guy that everybody on this Aces side trusts to get big outs.
Yeah, he's just so dependable. That even when he was in the bullpen, he was usually the first guy that the Aces would bring out of the pen, and when that wasn't the case, he'd be coming in a high-leverage situation.
This is outside. It's 2-0 now on Spence. Ken had a chance to pitch in front of his family in round 7 against Canberra, against his old team. Pitched really well that afternoon. Pitch down. Called a strike.
He's just been lights out since coming back to that starting role in these last couple of games. Hasn't let up more than 3 runs in a start. He had 8 strikeouts in his last start here at Melbourne Ballpark. So certainly looking to keep some of that momentum going.
Hot shot out to short, but Glendinning has it. Back-to-back 1-2-3 innings for Steve Kent. He's rolling early. 2 groundouts and a strikeout, and the Giants head back to the dugout with the Aces looking to score first in the bottom of the second. We'll head there next on Aces TV.
For over 40 years, All Green Nursery has been providing the communities of Melbourne's western and northern suburbs the best advice and results for their gardens. Our retail centre, indoor plant space and expansive nursery floor showcases over 150 varieties of vibrant plants, most of them grown locally right here in Werribee South. We have qualified horticulturalists on site to help assist with all your gardening needs, and our home decor section is stocked with a full range of quality options. All Green Nursery, your local plant nursery and garden centre. Visit our sites in Hoppers Crossing and Epping. All-Star Access Hire are your access equipment specialists. We have an extensive range of state-of-the-art equipment, and we pride ourselves on delivering outstanding customer service. We have the youngest fleet of equipment in Victoria, and we are consistently adding new machines. We get to know our customers and form partnerships with them. This video is of our partnership with the Victorian Government at Reservoir Station. All-Star Access Hire are proud sponsors of the Melbourne Aces and our All-Star Bar.
The reigning Helms Award winner Darryl George set to lead off for the Aces in the bottom of the second. No score between the Giants and Aces in Game 3 of 4 here in round 9. First pitch of the inning to George misses outside from Starlin Castillo. Well, Josh, we talked about it pregame. One of us was going to do that early.
I thought first. I'm not going to lie.
Bottom of the second, it already happened. Darryl George, Ryan Lavarnway, and Jared Dale, the three due up for the Aces, 4-5-6. Chris Burke led off the bottom of the first with a single to left center, but Glendinning hit into a 5-4-3 double play and Skull struck out swinging. Castillo faced the minimum in the first. Counts 1-1 on George. Tied him up there. It's 1-2. Big home run for Darryl last night.
Next to bat for your Melbourne Aces is catcher Ryan Lavarnway.
Gave up 1 hit, 2 runs, 4 strikeouts, 3 walks in that contest. He exited early, but the Adelaide bullpen was excellent that day. Didn't allow a run after Castillo left the game. And the Giants won 3-2 in what was a really highly competitive series that these two teams played in Adelaide, but the Giants just ended up on the winning end in all 4 games. Next pitch to Lavarnway, chopper to third. Looks like Walters has that. He does. 2 up, 2 down in the second.
And the games are still competitive here. Just the Aces getting a victory against Adelaide for the first time this season, and certainly a much-needed one. But I'm hoping we'll see a lot more competitive baseball and a couple more really good games between these two squads.
If you're just joining us, Steve Kent, 2 perfect innings for the Aces tonight in his 3rd start of the season. Starlin Castillo off to a solid start as well. He's looking for 2 scoreless of his own. So here's Jared Dale, the walk-off hero from last night. He came up with 1st and 3rd. And the game tied 1 out in the bottom of the 10th. Ripped a liner to center. And I could go back and watch that replay forever, Josh. It was the sweetest swing that he ripped that ball into center. Perfect mechanics and got a pitch he could handle and sent it into center for the walk-off winner. 1-1 to Jared. Swings over a breaking ball there. It's 1-2.
And especially good to see from Dale, who has taken a little bit of a downturn in terms of average, but just getting those big hits, being able to perform at such a high level at this early stage in his career is really good to see. He's a guy to keep an eye on in the future.
He was one of 7 aces to drive in a run last night. He was the only ace with multiple hits. Coming on strong in the later part of the season. Hot shot down the third base line, but foul. Dale's swinging a good bat over the last 3 rounds. In round 7 versus Canberra, he went 5 for 13 in 4 games. And then in 4 games at Sydney in round 8, went 4 for 11. So right there, a combined 9 for 24. You'll take that any day. And now here off to a good start in the Adelaide series for round 9. Bat's coming along, and he's doing it playing a premium position. A lot of time at short, some time at third as well. There's a throw that gets by Spence. Dale can't move up because it didn't get far enough away, but Dale's on as a 2-out base runner. We'll wait for the official scoring on it.
And they're going to give that an error on Martinez, but we'll take a look at the replay here. Dale really hustled this one out, and errant throw or not, he was pretty close to beating this out. Look how close he is here. Maybe a step away from the base if Spence had handled that play.
It's a hard 90 from Dale right there, no doubt. First pitch to the 7-hole hitter, Aaron Whitefield. Is over for a strike. It's 0-1. Not too often that you see a 2-time league MVP batting 7th, but that's where Whitefield is right now. And brings a lot of pop and guy who can hit for average in the bottom of the order. Gets one off the hands. He sends it into center field, a base hit. So after the first two were retired in order, Dale reached on an error. Whitefield now reaches on the single, and it's the second hit of the night for the Aces.
And that day off on Thursday doing him well. Hits in now his 2 games of the series for Whitefield, someone the Aces desperately need to get back to his full potential. One of the best Australian baseball players at any level, and there's a reason why.
Whitefield going back to the Los Angeles Angels once the 2023 spring training season starts. He's also going to play for Team Australia in the World Baseball Classic, and he's aboard at first with Dale at second for Jacob Robson. Fastball inside, it's called a strike, and it's 0-1. Robson doubled home a run in last night's game. He brought home the first of 4 runs for the Aces in the bottom of the 5th. He went 1 for 4. Back in right field tonight. Castillo, a quick look at second. Pitch to Robson, he fouls it back. So 0-2 on Jacob.
And Robson, a guy who tends to get more aggressive with runners on base. He wants to get those big hits. He wants to put the ball in play. He just is such a good team guy, wanting to make things happen for his squad.
Modified shift for the Giants. Robson chases a fastball in the outer half, and he swings over it. So he's gone on 3 pitches. That ends the inning. 2 strikeouts in the inning, 3 in the game for Starlin Castillo. We're scoreless after 2 as the Aces leave 2. We'll go to the top of the 3rd after this with Josh taking over on the play-by-play on Aces TV.
For over 40 years, All Green Nursery has been providing the communities of Melbourne's western and northern suburbs the best advice and results for their gardens. Our retail centre, indoor plant space and expansive nursery floor showcases over 150 varieties of vibrant plants, most of them grown locally right here in Werribee South. We have qualified horticulturists on site to help assist with all your gardening needs, and our home decor section is stocked with a full range of quality options. All Green Nursery, your local plant nursery and garden centre. Visit our sites in Hoppers Crossing and Epping. All-Star Access Hire are your access equipment specialists. We have an extensive range of state-of-the-art equipment, and we pride ourselves on delivering outstanding customer service. We have the youngest fleet of equipment in Victoria, and we are consistently adding new machines. We get to know our customers and form partnerships with them. This video is of our partnership with the Victorian Government at Reservoir Station. All-Star Access Hire are proud sponsors of the Melbourne Aces and our All-Star Bar.
A beautiful day here at Melbourne Ballpark, but a hot day at Melbourne Ballpark. Stephen Kent bringing the heat in the first 2 innings in a scoreless ball game. Jordan McArdle, Ryan January, and Ian Walters due up for the Giants against the lefty from Canberra. Here's the first pitch of the 3rd, and it settles in there for a called strike. Looks like a breaking ball from Kent.
Kent looks great tonight, and he's getting quick outs, and he's keeping the ball on the ground. A couple ground outs in the 2nd.
0-1. Breaking ball outside corner, count 0-2.
There's a guy who has a chance to feast on all the lefties in this Adelaide lineup. He's got the handed matchup on a lot of guys, 1 through 9 here for Adelaide. And he's just rolling, continues to get better as he goes.
Second inning aside on Thursday, that's what Brian Flynn did. But Kent hoping to avoid a 5-run inning as the Aces fighting for their lives in terms of playoff contention. Canberra and the Heat is the other series that we have to keep an eye on. We're about halfway through that one, and Perth leads 9-0. over the Cavalry, as is a 2-2 count to McArdle now. So if, barring some crazy miracle comeback by the Cavs, if the Aces win, they're still alive. Their elimination number would just be 1. As McArdle hits this one high in the air out to left field. Back is Burke on the track, against the wall, and that ball is gone. Jordan McArdle, second homer of the series. And Adelaide takes an early 1-0 lead. And that's not what you want to see if you're the Aces. Because if both scores hold in the Southwest Division, the Aces would be out of the playoffs.
That's a tough one right there because that was clearly a wind-aided home run. Off the bat, it looked like a lazy fly ball. Burke kept drifting back. Still thought he had a chance at the wall, but, I mean, in this ballpark, I think left field more than center and right. Ball goes up in the air. You see a fielder going back. Off the bat, you don't think so, but you just know with the wind that it's probably going to get out.
We've seen so many of those wind-aided home runs go over that left field wall. And that opposite field blast by McArdle, his 6th of the season, 2nd in as many nights. 0-1 to Ryan January as the Giants are on the board first, now 1-1. January, the catcher last night, designated hitter tonight. 1-1, missing outside, 2-1. So McArdle has now taken arguably the 2 best pitchers on the Aces staff this season. Kent has been just so dependable in the bullpen and in the rotation. And Mincy last night was who he hit the home run off. This one popped. It's going to stay in the infield on the third base side. It's going to end up in the glove of Robbie Glendinning for out number 1. So 2 fly balls in a row, but that one a lot weaker than McArdle's home run.
Only thing you can do is come back and just get the next guys you see up to bat, and that's a great job by Kent to come back after the home run and get a lazy pop-up for the first out.
Now 1 gone, the number 9 hitter, and Ian Walters coming up to the plate as he swings and misses, strike 1. Another left-handed batter. The 0-1. Walters holds up his swing, and the count evens at 1-1. He's been the number 9 hitter and the third baseman in every game this series. Adelaide, not a whole lot of rotation in that batting order. 10 hitters have come to the plate for Adelaide this series. 2-1 now. Walters in his first ABL season, playing in just his 10th game. 2 RBIs, 4 hits in now 30 at-bats. 2-1. Hit on the ground to first. Scooped up by George. A race to the bag, won by the defending Helms Award winner. 2 gone now in the third.
Nice play by Darryl George. He had to make a quick decision whether he was going to take that himself or if he was going to flip to Steve Kent. He decided to take it himself and made sure he hustled to the bag to get the out.
And it looked like the right decision. As you take a look at the replay here, Kent well behind the base runner. So good decision by George. Over 300 games played in the ABL over the course of 10 seasons, all with his hometown Melbourne Aces. So 2 away now in the top of the third, and the top of the order for Adelaide comes up to the plate. Nick Ward, one of the Phillies' newest prospects, takes a called strike. As you mentioned, Mike, a guy who grew up a Phillies fan. It took a trip across the pond for him to join his childhood favorite team. 0-1. Breaking ball in there for a called strike.
It was really cool to hear Nick talk about that before the game. He said it's a dream come true. And, you know, he's going to get to go to spring training, down in Clearwater where the Phillies train and, get to put on that Phillies red and white, put on that Phillies cap. That's going to be pretty cool for him.
0-2, bounced out of LaVarnway's glove, and it's 1-2. He has been well-traveled in his career. Drafted by the Oakland A's initially in 2018. It's not so often that guys who get released by major league teams get back in the majors, but that's how good Nick Ward has been this season. 1-2. Breaking ball makes it 2-2.
Yeah, credit to the work that he's put in over the last few years. He's had some really solid seasons with the Washington Wild Things, and that's some good baseball in the Frontier League. And the production here in the ABL, he's parlayed that into another shot in affiliated ball. So congrats to Nick, and that's big time. He's still only 27 years old too. A lot of baseball left ahead of him.
2-2. Fouled away. We'll do it again.
So Nick actually played college ball at Westchester with a guy I played against in high school. So a connection there. It's a guy who won a D2 national championship at Westchester. And for those who don't know, that's a powerhouse D2 school in terms of baseball.
A lot of sports. I know they're a really good football team as well. Had a couple guys in the NFL draft back in 2019 and 2020. 2-2 again. Hit the other way into left. Burke is ranging back, and he's going to let this one go. Nick Ward goes yard, second solo shot of the inning. And it is 2-0 Adelaide here in the top of the third inning. RBI number 19 and homer number 8 for Ward in a breakout season.
He's got some pop, and you see both the home runs, left-handed hitters sending the ball to left field. The first one doesn't get out if it goes to right because it was more of a wind-aided shot. This one might have had a chance to get out elsewhere, but again, the wind helped sail it over the wall.
So 2 gone still is the longtime major league vet in Michael Martinez comes up and now faces an 0-1 count. Here it is. 0-1 misses low, makes it 1-1. Martinez 0 for 1 on the day. Flied out to center back in the first inning. The 1-1 from Kent. Fastball just missing the outside corner, and it's 2-1. Those were the first 2 hits of Adelaide's day. Solo home run by McArdle to lead off, and a 2-out, 2-strike solo homer from Nick Ward. The 2-1. This one is hit into the gap out in right center field. That is going to one-hop the wall, and it looks like it got over for a ground rule double. So Michael Martinez hits that ball a long way. 3 opposite field extra base hits for the Adelaide Giants.
Yeah, solid approach from these Adelaide hitters here in the third inning, the bottom of the order. Give them credit for getting things going. McArdle with the homer, then Ward. Now Martinez his second time around. And you see Ward and Martinez, who both flew out their first time, they each get an extra base hit their second time around. So maybe they're seeing something different out of the hand of Steve Kent that second time through the order. But for Steve, it's not too big a deal right now. Look, the 2 home runs, both solo shots. Solos won't kill you. It's not much of a difference, whether it could have been a 2-run single. Either way, it's 2-0. The Aces are going to need to score more than 2 runs to win this game anyway. They know that. And with the way the bats were swinging last night, not too worried at all. And for Kent right now, it's just a matter of bearing down and making sure it stays at 2-0.
2 hits already for the Aces. And they're capable of a whole lot more. But a 2-0 lead with a runner on second for Anthony Kirion ends up with a called first strike. Kirion's been solid for Adelaide this series. Also in the whole season, he leads the team in batting average, just a couple points ahead of Nick Ward. Fastball misses upstairs, and it's 1-1. Kirion came into the series with a .367 average for Adelaide. That's turned on and fouled. And now once again, Steve Kent is a strike away. On the season for Kiri, on average up to 372. A lot of thanks due to that 3-for-5 game he had in Adelaide's win in Game 1 of this series. Last night, he had a pair of hits, going 2-for-4 with a walk. Kent, a 1-2. Fouled away, and we'll do it again. And that's something we've seen from Adelaide this inning, fighting off those 2-strike pitches.
Yeah, just staying alive, making it tougher on the opposing pitcher. And just a note on Kirian, he's hitting 370 as a primary catcher. That's not easy to do with all the work he has to do behind the plate, working with the pitching staff, and then to go up there with the bat. And not just that, but the toll it takes on your body to go behind the dish every night.
1-2. Breaking ball doesn't break enough, and it's 2-2.
That was one of the things I talked to LaVarnway, Osborne, and O'Neill about a few days ago when I interviewed them and talked about playing the position of catcher is, finding time to get your work in offensively with all that you have to do and also keeping your body right to do it.
And it's not just the average. He leads the team in slugging percentage and total bases as well as he slices this one back into the netting.
Right now, Kent fighting to find that put-away pitch. Kirian continues to fight. So right now, he's trying to keep the ball down in the zone. He doesn't want to give up another long ball or another extra base hit. So he went with that pitch down and away there. I like that. See if he goes back to it.
2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. 2-0 to lead for Adelaide with a runner on second here. The crowd behind Kent. The pitch. Wave and a whiff, strike 3. Steve Kent gets his second strikeout of the game, coming in a big spot as he ends the 3rd inning there, but not before Adelaide put a couple of runs on the board. 2 home runs, 3 hits, and 1 left. 2-0 Adelaide. The Aces look to turn things around in the bottom of the 3rd.
At the Sporting Globe, we're a little different to other pubs and bars. We have more than just cooks, we have chefs. We have more than bar service, we have table service. We have more than specials, we have specialties. We have more than live sporting events, we have atmosphere. And we have more than customers, we have fans. It's more than a sports bar, it's a Sporting Globe.
Your favourite meals from Light and Easy's new spring menu and enjoy amazing food, more free time and a healthier life. No shopping or cooking and no contracts or subscriptions. Just your choice of affordable, delicious meals delivered to your door. Order today.
Create the perfect look for your home with U-Blind's once-a-year stock take sale. For 2 weeks only, all U-Blind's products are half price. Yes, half price. U-Blind's Australia. More value for you. Head to ublinds.com.au.
Another day, another full crowd here at Melbourne Ballpark. Coming off of the largest crowd of the season. Still have plenty of fans in these seats on one of the hottest days of the year already. The Adelaide Giants are the ones who have the hot bats as of now, though. 2-0 lead after 2 solo jacks in the 3rd inning. But the Aces are no stranger to overcoming adversity, something they've had to do quite a bit this season. And they need to start again here. George Khalil leads off the 3rd, takes a pitch for a called strike.
Kent put his team in a good position by only giving up the 2 solo shots. Like I said last half inning, solos won't kill you, and the fact that he kept the Giants from adding on and really breaking this open, that's huge to make it a close game in the early innings.
And they still 0 for 1 with runners in scoring position. Obviously, limited chances, but they did not get the runner on second in with 2 outs, and that has to be some sort of positive momentum for the Aces as Khalil swings and misses at strike 2. And that's what you need at this point. Just any shred of positivity the Aces need to hold on to and turn into something big like they did last night. 1-2 to Khalil. Almost hits him, but Khalil jumps out of the way. Count evens at 2-2.
And right now the Aces backs against the walls with Perth looking like they'll finish off a win. They're up 9-0 in the 6th in their game at Canberra. But if the Aces win tonight, still alive tomorrow, and just it's all about just racking up W's and then not worrying about what the other team's doing. Just take care of what you can control. And then obviously some scoreboard watching necessary, but got to get the dub first before you worry about what everyone else is doing.
So a slider on 2-2 now fills the count up for Khalil, who's looking to work a leadoff walk if Castillo misses again. Here comes the payoff. Fouled away, and that's going to be a souvenir almost caught by a fan in the party deck. But we'll stay 3-2.
Big pitch coming here. I mean, that's huge for Khalil to fight that one off and make Castillo come with another good pitch. He's got to come in the zone for a second straight time on 3-2. Khalil doing a good job fighting pitches.
Payoff pitch again. That missed low, and George Khalil is the Aces' first base runner in the 3rd. A base runner in each frame for Melbourne, and a dangerous leadoff walk brings up the tying run in the dangerous Chris Burke.
And this is the type of situation where you see your leadoff man grind through that AB, a really good take on that breaking ball down in the zone to just kind of spit on that one and take his walk. Now the leadoff man's on, tying runs at the plate. Burke swinging a hot bat. He could hit one in the gap here, make it 2nd and 3rd, and then all of a sudden a rally started.
First pitch to Burke. He turns on and hits it the other way in a multi-hit game for Chris Burke. Khalil rounds second as the ball's bobbled by Lattimore, and he slides into third base safely. Burke takes advantage and heads to second base. It should be a single, maybe an error on Lattimore, but what we know for certain, 2 base runners in the first 2 batters of this 3rd inning. And now the Aces bring the go-ahead run to the plate.
There you go, just what I was saying. Start up a rally, 2nd and 3rd now all of a sudden. Chris Burke just doing his thing late in the season. And I like that he was aggressive there. A lot of times after the guy in front of you walks, you want to take a couple pitches, but Burke got a piece that he could handle in the middle of the plate and send it to left.
So no error given as Robbie Glendinning takes a breaking ball outside for a called strike. Burke has now reached base safely in 6 straight games for the Aces, really coming alive against a team where he plays many of his teammates in the Phillies farm system. 1-0 now to Glendinning as Castillo looks over at second base. He'll kick and deal. Fouled away, 1-1.
Big spot for Robbie, try to get him going again. Big hole on the right side, Ward shaded up the middle. See if Robbie can go the other way and bring home 2, tie this thing up.
And you see a shift to that left field side because, frankly, that's where all the baseballs are going. Opposite way or not, that's where the balls fly today. The 1-1. Hit up the middle to short, and that goes through for a base hit. Khalil scores easily. Burke will head to 3rd. And the Aces are on the board. An RBI single for Robbie Glendinning. That's number 16 on the year for the Aces ribby leader. And the Aces now have him cornered. Still nobody out.
There it is. Love seeing that from Robbie. Stayed true to his approach, trying to shoot one up the middle. Another hard hit ball, and surprising to see Martinez not make that player. You know, I've got to see a replay how close he was to it, but I didn't think it was going to get into the outfield. Either way, it would have been a run. Take a look at that replay right there. And Burke did a good job going back to the bag, not running himself into an out, and then going to 3rd.
Definitely a hot shot by Glendinning, so it's the Aces' 4th hit of the game as the mound visit ends quickly. Had to bring in a translator from the Adelaide dugout. And he joined Nikirion. Now he'll head back in the dugout. Runners on the corners for the Aces. And Jake Skoll, a chance to tie this game. And he certainly has the power to give Melbourne the lead here as well. 2-1 the score. First pitch to Skoll misses outside, and it's 1-0. Still nobody out here in the third. A walk and 2 singles have started off this response frame after 2 homers opened up the scoring in the top half. 1-0. Breaking ball outside, 2-0. Still one base empty, but you certainly don't want to load the bases for Darryl George.
Absolutely not. And, that with the bases loaded and Darryl George up, there's a chance where a mistake pitch could turn into 4 runs for the Aces. And I think they're checking on Castillo for an apparent injury.
And you see Castillo on the mound holding his right knee. The manager, Chris Adamson, is coming out to check on his starting pitcher. With him is the physiotherapist, Ben Onofrio.
He looks like he's in some degree of pain. He's clutching that right knee, and saw him jump behind the mound. I think he's just trying to stretch it out.
It could be a cramp.
Yeah.
With this heat, over 35 degrees Celsius, which is close to 100 degrees Fahrenheit. Cramps easy to set in, particularly with as much physical activity as Castillo is exerting from the mound.
Yeah, and even hotter down there on the turf infield.
Yeah, if you don't see Ace rolling around on the turf too much pregame, you know it's hot out there.
Looks like he's all right, which is good to see.
Seems like Castillo will go on. Pitchers going out to the Adelaide bullpen to start getting warm, but Castillo is going to get himself some warm-up pitches. And that hop post the first pitch is not comforting, though.
No, that didn't look good at all. He doesn't look comfortable. I'd be shocked if he's not staying in. I was going to be shocked if they left him in. I mean, a 20-year-old guy with, you don't want to leave a young guy out there in that heat, in that situation right there.
And unfortunately, we'll get a new pitcher a bit prematurely for the Adelaide Giants as Starlin Castillo leaves with an apparent knee injury. We will get a new pitcher coming out. It's a left-hander for Adelaide, and they do not have a lot of those in their bullpen. Josh Tolles, the former Melbourne Aces hurler, is going to come out and get a bunch of warm-up pitches as we will take a short break. The Aces threatening here in this third inning after an injury ends the game for Castillo. We'll give you the numbers on Josh Tolles when we come back.
When enjoying a punt, easy does it with Punt 123. Punt123.bet is your home for all your punting needs with same race multis and same game multi options, including daily promotions on all the major sporting and racing events. It's punting made easy. Get in the game with Punt 123. Visit punt123.bet or download the app today. Gamble responsibly. If gambling becomes an issue for you, call 1-800-858-858.
Create the perfect look for your home with U-Blind's once-a-year stock take sale. For 2 weeks only, all U-Blind's products are half price. Yes, half price. U-Blind's Australia. More value for you. Head to ublinds.com.au.
First punt 1-2-3 pitching change of the ball game, and it brings a familiar face to Aces fans. Josh Tolles will enter the game, replacing starter Starlin Castillo, with 2 runners on, both responsibility of Castillo, a 2-1 lead, and a 2-0 count to Jake Skoll. but as is customary following an injury, Tolles will get as many warm-up pitches as he needs. While he warms up, we'll give you a little bit of a game reset. 2 home runs for Adelaide, starting with this one by Jordan McArdle that led off the 3rd inning. Made the difference. That gave Adelaide an early 2-0 lead. Nick Ward added to his home run account as well. He's got to be one of the names you consider when we talk about the Helms Award winners for this year.
Absolutely. A name to keep an eye on moving forward. He's done nothing but hit since the start of his campaign. And just flicked it the other way, and it got out. And for McArdle, just got the ball up in the air and let the wind do the rest.
And for the Aces, they started off the 3rd inning on a hot note. George Khalil worked a leadoff walk, and then Robbie Glendinning followed up a Chris Burke single with one of his own, which drove in Khalil and moved the tying run at 90 feet away from home plate. That is where we stand as the former Melbourne Ace will face some of his former teammates. 2-0 to Skoll, and Tolles' first pitch is in there for a called strike. So both base runners' responsibility of Castillo. He can't get the win, but if the Aces take the lead in this inning, Castillo will be in line for the loss. Breaking ball misses outside, and now it's a 3-1 count to Skoll against a guy who has had a long history for Adelaide. He's played the last 5 seasons for the Aces, returning to Adelaide for the first time since they were called the Adelaide Bite. As Skoll pops this into shallow left, Martinez calls off Walters and makes the grab. Burke dummies the tag up, and there's the first out of the inning with the new pitcher.
That's a tough play for Martinez, and battling the sun there, not a great angle. That's a big out for Tolles. Not an easy situation to come in, especially with the count already, the count was already started. It wasn't even like a fresh at-bat, but Tolles is, this is another guy who's well-traveled in his baseball career. Really cool story. This is a guy who was pitching in the Pecos League in 2014, and 5 years later he was in AAA with the Phillies. Now, for those in Australia who don't really know what the Pecos League is, it's basically the lowest level of independent ball over in the United States. So for a guy to make it to AAA after starting his pro career in the Pecos League, that's really impressive.
Breaking ball low and inside to Tolles' former teammate in Darryl George. And, he played collegiately in the United States as well. Division II with Rockhurst as the 1-0. Hit the other way. That's going to settle in for a base hit. This game is tied thanks to Darryl George as the ball is bobbled in right field, and Glendinning will walk on to third base. An RBI single for George and a 2-2 ball game.
Timely hits, situational hitting, able to shoot one the other way. Good base running by Glendinning going first to third. This is Aces baseball right here. This is really good fundamental baseball, and it's nice to see some hard hit balls. And not only that, the Aces are stringing them together. It's not like hit, then 2 guys make an out, then another hit. This is hit, hit, error, hit. Making things tough on the Giants.
And that one will be charged to Castro. Glendinning is Castro's responsibility as well. 2-2 game for Ryan Lavarnway, so a brand new ball game in the third as that pitch pops out of the catcher's glove. Robbie Glendinning slides into home plate, and a wild pitch gives the Aces the lead. Unexpected, but the Aces take advantage. 3-2 ball game for Melbourne, and George moves into second as well.
Flipping things around just like that, and now you figure that the Aces have the lead back. Advantage Aces the rest of the way with Kent settling down. The Giants already in their bullpen early. Not an easy situation for Tolles to come into, so he looks a little rattled. And the Aces a chance to make this inning really hurt for Adelaide. Still just 1 out in the frame.
And some big hitters coming up for Melbourne. No holes in this lineup. Pitchers really aren't going to take a break as Lavarnway takes a 2-0. Your 5th hitter, the man up right now, as we take a look at that wild pitch again. 10 years of major league experience. He's followed up by a guy who's highly regarded by the San Diego Padres. Then Aaron Whitefield, another guy with major league service time after Dale in the 7th spot. Another former major leaguer, and Jacob Robson in the 8th. So a dangerous part of the lineup for Melbourne. And a 2-0 count to Lavarnway, 3-2 lead for the Aces. All 5 runs scored in this third inning. Tolles is taking his sweet time on the mound. A lefty going against a guy with some serious power in Lavarnway. Tolles looks over at second. The kick and the pitch. Breaking ball settles in there for a called strike. Lavarnway 0 for 1 today. Had a really solid performance last night. Just 1 hit and 5 at-bats, but that 1 hit could not have been bigger. RBI single that tied the game as he's way out ahead of that breaker to make it 2-2.
That's a really good curveball right there. Had Lavarnway way out in front, but as we've seen so often from him in his first couple series with the Aces, he makes such good in-at-bat adjustments. I expect him to adjust here and, put a good swing on this 2-2 if it's in the zone.
35 years old, will play for Israel at the World Baseball Classic this upcoming March. The 2-2. That one is hammered, but will drift foul down the left field line. Will stay 2-2.
Well, he sat on that breaking ball right there. Let's see if he gets another one. Tolles definitely doesn't want to leave it there again.
I'm not a betting man, but I think I'd put some money down that Lavarnway's not getting another breaking ball after what he just did to that baseball. Though Tolles has fooled him with breaking stuff before, just that last ball absolutely crushed. A bit of an early swing by Lavarnway, though. 2-2. Swing and a miss. Fastball high and outside. And Tolles gets his first strikeout, a big out number 2 for the Giants here in the third.
Yeah, that's a big pitch. Going fastball away right there after the breaking ball. Dale a chance with 2 outs. This is a guy who I'm really impressed with the way that he's adjusted at the plate in the second half of the season, and he's really started to square up the baseball, hitting everything hard.
Dale reached on an error in the second, so he's 0 for 1. The hero last night, though, against his former teammate, Tolles, gets it in there for a called strike. Tolles won those 2 championships with the Aces. A key pitcher for Melbourne, especially last season. He looks at second, 0-1. Fastball turned around and fouled, 0-2. In 2020 with the Aces, 11 relief appearances, a 2-0 record, just 3 earned runs in 13 2/3 innings for Josh Tolles. Opponents held to 182, helping the Aces win that championship. Now pitching against his former team. A 1-run lead for the Aces, though. 2 outs and an 0-2 count to Dale. Tolles steps off the mound. Will go again. Dale's had a number of good games for the Aces, so you might not say that last night was his best overall game, but certainly a good one. A walk-off single in the 10th to give the Aces the first win against Adelaide this season. A chance to drive in another one here. 0-2. That one is hit high in the air, but fouled down the left field line again. Another really well-hit ball, but just a bit early from Dale.
Yeah, guys are getting around on that breaking ball, and it's a slower breaker, so you see Lavarnway and Dale both yank it way foul, just a little bit ahead of it.
And you see Daryl George probably saying something to Josh Tolles. A little friendly banter, friendly trash talk maybe. 0-2 again coming to Dale. Tolles, a long pause, and he deals. That one is hit up the middle into center field for a base hit. George motors around third, but he's held up there. Dale advancing to second on the throw, held up by Carrion. So it's a 2-out single for Jared Dale. And now we have 2 runners in scoring position for Aaron Whitefield.
That's a good hold by Scott Meager, the Aces third base coach, because Darryl would have been toast at home plate. It was hit so hard it got to Carr on one bounce. Take a look at the All-Star Access Higher replay. Just another ball scalded off the bat of Dale. He got all barrel there. And, yeah, Darrell running with 2 outs all the way, but the ball just got on Jared Carr too quickly, and he made a really strong throw, but nice base running by Dale to pick up second on the throw home.
2 outs, 3 runs home this inning, and 2 runners in scoring position for the former Helms Award winner in Aaron Whitefield. Breaking ball, catches the outside corner for a called strike.
Well, if he gets another pitch like that, maybe a little bit more middle, it's going to be a 6-2 game.
Might be sitting on that breaking ball like we saw a couple of other aces doing earlier this frame. 0-1. Breaking ball missing upstairs, and it's 1-1.
Is that Whitefield in the box right now?
I think so.
Can't tell without the beard.
He told me yesterday he had to introduce himself about 30 different times.
Yeah, I took my sunglasses off. I'm looking at the screen over here. I'm like, it's just, I mean, I know it's him, but still, he just looks so different.
Seeing his headshot with the beard makes it even more confusing.
I think he picked a good week to shave, though, because it is hot out there. Like, I've been itching my beard all day.
I've been itching my face all day, and I shaved off all my facial hair.
See, I'm the kind of guy who, like, I like to grow the beard out, but after a week and a half, it just gets too itchy, and then I got to shave again, and it's just repeat.
That's what my dad always says. 2-1. Breaking ball misses upstairs, and it's 3-1. First base open. But you don't want to bring up a loaded bases for Jacob Robson. (3-1). Breaking ball missing outside. It's ball 4. Second walk of the inning. First of the game for Tolles. And the bases are full of aces here in the third inning.
Man, 9th man to hit in the inning. See what Robson can do. A lot of hard hit balls in this inning. A lot of really good approaches at the plate.
Take another look at ball 4 here. A close pitch, a looping curve, but Whitefield wanted no part of it. Really good eye by Aaron Whitefield.
That's a curveball very similar to Evan Rutsky's. The release point is high, and it's high and outside, and then that one was outside all the way, but you know, it's a similar curveball that drops at the last minute in the zone when it does go for a strike.
2 gone for Robson, who takes a look and checks his swing. No appeal necessary. It's a 1-0 count to the first-year ace. Robson in his second season in the ABL, played in Sydney back in 2019. 1-0. Fouled off his own leg. That one can't feel good. As I mentioned, Robson, another guy with some major league service time under his belt. Played with the Detroit Tigers back in 2021. Made his debut in August of that year. Was on the roster for Detroit when Miguel Cabrera hit his 500th home run. As the pitch gets away from Kirion, but the runners will stay put. 2-1 to Robson. And I was talking to him about that historic day in baseball history. Obviously, Miggy Cabrera, one of, if not the greatest hitter to ever play the game of baseball. And the entire clubhouse just turned into kids getting pictures. Everyone wanted a shot with the future Hall of Famer after 500. 2-1, high chopper foul down the first base line, and it's 2-2.
That's so cool to hear stories like that, and what a time to get your first big league call up.
Yeah, I mean, you come to the major leagues, and one of your first weeks on the big league job, you see a Hall of Fame moment. Home run number 500 for Miguel Cabrera. He hit number 3,000 earlier in the 2022 season. The 2-2. Swing and a miss, a curveball fools Robson, and the Aces leave him loaded here in the third. But the damage done for Melbourne. The Aces bat around. They leave the bases loaded, but plate 3 runs on 4 hits. No errors, and 3 left. 3-2 the score. Aces lead after 3.
Oh, we've been there for every game of 4 and 25. When Meatloaf overcooked it and Gregan saved that try. three. We give a big high five. What future sport looks like just won't be right without a pie. Oh, what a lovely pie, me mates, a 4 and 20 pie. Oi!
One Love is there for the moments with the people you love the most. To share the highs and the lows together. It's the one for all people, all times, and all places. Brick Lane's One Love Pale Ale. It's the one for all.
The Aces come back after 2 homers led up in the top of the 3rd inning with 3 runs of their own in the bottom half. As we're getting closer to another beautiful sky here at Melbourne Ballpark, and I think everyone who's here is waiting for the sun to go down in the hottest day of 2023 thus far. 3-2 the score, Aces in the lead, and Quincy Lattimore chops it to third. Well fielded by Dale, but that's foul. Another former Melbourne Ace, and a guy who spent some time in the broadcast booth here from what I understand. As we take another look at a foul ball, but a nice fielding play by Jared Dale. And now the 0-1. Lattimore chops it behind him, and it's quickly 0-2. Lattimore doubled in the go-ahead run for the Giants in the top of the 10th inning on a ground rule double. That proved to be useful for the Aces. 0-2. Curveball misses low, 1-2. Because it would have brought in an extra run had the ball stayed in play. And the rest, as they say, is history. The Aces winning 7-6 in the comeback victory. Lattimore fouls another one off, still 1-2. He's in his 4th ABL season. Began in 2010 with the Adelaide Bite. Then in 2012, when they were still the Bite. Joined the Melbourne Aces in 2019 for their first of 2 championships. And then came back to Adelaide this year, where he's enjoying a stellar season. 6 home runs, 29 RBIs, an average of 284 for the 33-year-old from North Carolina. The 1-2 is hit high in the air down the left field line. If it's fair, it's gone, but it is foul. You've seen balls hit quite a long way down that left field line. And Quincy Lattimore, a little frustrated that one didn't stay fair for him. Take another look here. He just lost that ball in the sky. 1-2. Chopped foul again. Lattimore has made contact with every pitch he has swung at in this at-bat so far. And it'll be pitch number 7 of the 4th inning coming for him. 1-2 again. Bounced away from LaVarn Way, 2-2. Lattimore, 4th-round pick of the Pirates back in 2007, drafted out of high school. And there he swings and misses at a breaker from Steve Kent. 1 out here in the 4th, 2 straight punch-outs by Kent, and he has 3 so far in this one.
Aces could really use a shutdown inning here, especially after regaining the lead with 3 in the bottom of the 3rd. That's a great job by Kent to get the leadoff man and keep him off base. especially a guy like Lattimore who's swinging a good bat in this series.
So one gone in the fourth to bring up Jared Carr, swinging and missing at a called strike. He played a very active part in the field in last night's game. Temporarily saved it for Adelaide back in that ninth inning. 0-1 from Kent. Hit on the ground, foul. Jake Skoll was up at the plate, and he had a runner on third in that ninth inning. A runner on second. Also had a runner on first. Had a hard line drive to center. Looked for a second like it was going to drop in the gap, but a diving play by Jared Carr sealed the final out of that ninth as he fouls it away, still 0-2. Left on left matchup as Kent in his windup kicks and deals. Foul tip into the glove of LaVarnway for a strike three. 2 punch-outs in the fourth for Steve Kent. 4 overall today. And another one bites the dust for Adelaide. 2 gone to bring up Liam Spence.
Yeah, now Kent's really settling in. 3 straight strikeouts, working around a couple extra base hits in the third inning, and I think he's really settling in again.
Kent certainly seems like he's calmed down after those 2 home runs and a double in a busy third inning for Adelaide. That first pitch to Spence is swung on and fouled backwards, 0-1. Spence, a Geelong native in his first year in the ABL. Played collegiately in the United States at the University of Tennessee. Team that was a College World Series favorite this past year. 0-1. Missing low, 1-1. This year, though, Spence hitting .256, more of a contact hitter, known for his glove, and he can move all around the diamond, getting some time at first base. 1-1, low and away, 2-1. He has played every position in the infield except for catcher, even left field for Adelaide in game 26 of the 34, now 35 they've played. 2-1, breaking ball low, 3-1. 1 home run, 11 RBIs for Spence, .260 average, on base percentage of .370. Just 8 strikeouts, though. So not a guy who Ks quite a lot. 3-1. Called strike 2 as the fastball settles on the outside corner. A full count to Spence. 2 strikeouts in the inning already for Steve Kent. And he's looking to make it a third with 2 outs here. The lefty gets himself set. The kick and the pitch. Swing and a miss, strike 3. Steve Kent strikes out the side in the fourth, cruising through the Giants lineup. And it's a 1-2-3 for Adelaide. Aces look to extend their lead in the bottom half of the fourth inning. They lead it by 1 here on Aces TV.
For over 40 years, All Green Nursery has been providing the communities of Melbourne's western and northern suburbs the best advice and results for their gardens. Our retail centre, indoor plant space and expansive nursery floor showcases over 150 varieties of vibrant plants, most of them grown locally right here in Werribee South. We have qualified horticulturalists on site to help assist with all your gardening needs, and our home decor section is stocked with a full range of quality options. All Green Nursery, your local plant nursery and garden centre. Visit our sites in Hoppers Crossing and Epping. All Star Access Hire are your access equipment specialists. We have an extensive range of state-of-the-art equipment and we pride ourselves on delivering outstanding customer service. We have the youngest fleet of equipment in Victoria and we are consistently adding new machines. We get to know our customers and form partnerships with them. This video is of our partnership with the Victorian Government at Reservoir Station. All Star Access Hire are proud sponsors of the Melbourne Aces and our All Star Bar.
Leading 3-2 is second baseman George Khalil.
Well, off to the races in between innings there, and now the Aces off to defend their lead. The same due-up as we had in the third inning. George Khalil, Chris Burke, and Robbie Glendinning. That started a 3-run rally for Melbourne. Now in Josh Tolles' first full inning of work. 1-1 to Khalil, who walked to lead off that comeback inning in the third. 1-1. Swing and a miss. The curveball in there for strike two. Khalil walked. Burke singled. Glendinning drove in Khalil with a single. And those are the 3-run scorers for Melbourne today. The former ace, though, on the mound. Here's Tolles with a 1-2. Inside on the breaking ball, and it's 2-2. Khalil's quietly put together a really solid hitting season. A guy more known for his glove, certainly one of the best in the league. But he's been able to string together some solid hits for the Aces. 2-2. Swing and a miss, strike three. Tolles gets his third punch out of the day. Matching Starlin Castillo.
Back to the top of the order for your Melbourne Aces and left fielder Chris
So
Burke.
Khalil down on strikes, one gone here in the fourth, and Chris Burke looking to extend his hit streak. 2 singles for Chris in this ball game. First pitch to him upstairs, count 1-0. As I mentioned, Burke's got an on-base streak of 6 games now. And he's reached base with a hit in 5 of those games. Half of those hits going for extra bases. 1-0. Hit high in the air out to center field. Not too far of a run for Carr, who makes the basket catch for out number 2. So Burke continues to hit the ball well.
Next to bat for your Melbourne
But
Aces,
Carr
shortstop
made that look
Robbie
easy.
Glendinning.
2 gone now for Robbie Glendinning, who put the first run on the board back in the third inning on an RBI single. He is the Aces leader in just about every hitting category. First pitch to him is going to miss inside for ball 1. Glendinning, the Aces leader in batting average at .302. He's second in slugging percentage, but Ryan Lavarnway ahead of him has now only played 9 games. On base percentage, he's third with .367 behind Robinson and Skoll, as that's fouled away. 2-1 now. Glendinning, 16 RBIs on the season. 6 home runs, both of those lead the team. As this one is cracked over to third. Speared by Walters, but he drops it. No throw over to first. Expecting to be an E5, but Robbie Glendinning is on first base with 2 outs, and a quick error put on the board by our official scorer.
Robbie Glendinning gets the first. And that
Now take
brings
another
us
look at it. Just on the transfer, it looks like Walters couldn't hold on. Maybe the sweat from this heavy heat caused him to have the ball slip out of his hands. So Glendinning reaches for the second straight at bat. And now the big-time power hitter in Jake Skoll looking to take advantage. First pitch, just catching the inside corner. A nice pitch by Josh Tolles against the big lefty out of Savannah, Georgia. He's the highest drafted player currently playing in the ABL. 15th overall pick back in 2010 of the Texas Rangers. Glendenning dancing at first. 0-1 to Skoll. Chopped to second base, but right into the shift. No one covering first, and Skoll's going to beat that out. A hustled infield single for Jake Skoll. And 2 on here with 2 outs in the bottom of the 4th. Josh Tolles did not get to the first base in time. The first baseman was shifted over, so Liam Spence unable to cover. And Skoll takes advantage, showing off the wheels that helped him play football collegiately with the University of Georgia. As we take another look here, Spence moved over to try and make that play, and Nick Ward had to try and go at it himself, but could not. So 2 preventable base runners for Adelaide there. And now 2 on and 2 outs for Darryl George, who swings and misses for a called strike. George signed by the Tampa Bay Rays about a decade ago. In big part thanks to his time with the Melbourne Aces. He's been here for 10 seasons, over 300 games played for Georgie. 0-1. Just missing outside, 1-1. And since then, George has become one of the best players in the ABL. As we take another look at that hustle, you can clearly tell that Skoll beat Tolles to the bag. George, the Helms Award winner last season, helping the Aces win back-to-back championships as the fastball misses up and away, 2-1. And this year, in limited action, he has been huge for the Aces. As we take another look, you can clearly see a close play, but good hustle by Jake Skoll to keep this inning going. Left on right matchup. Tolles deals. Hit high and foul, 2-2. Another battle of former teammates, as both these guys were key players in last year's championship. As we welcome back I can't speak. Let's try this again. As we welcome back Mike Marcantonini to the broadcast.
I'm here. I'm back.
Yeah. We missed you, buddy.
I missed me too, but here I am. Had to take care of some social media stuff, but we're good. We're multitasking up here.
2-2 breaker, misses outside, and it's 3-2. And I love seeing matchups like this and guys who are so familiar with each other.
It just adds to the drama of the game. I mean, it's such a mental game, our sport here. And guys who are familiar with each other. Darryl knows what Josh throws. Josh knows where Darryl likes the ball. And it just adds to the chess game within the game.
Here's the payoff. Runners go. George a little early on it, and he'll foul it down the left field line. We'll do it again.
This is another productive inning for the Aces. To be able to put multiple runners on once again and keep the pressure on Tolles. I mean, things looking up for this Aces club.
Tolles in his first full inning of work after coming in for Starlin Castillo has already thrown what's about to be 45 pitches. That's more than Castillo threw in a full inning less. 3-2 again. Runners go. This is chopped to short. Charging is Martinez. He'll scoop it, fire to first, and that will end the inning. So the Aces start a little bit of a 2-out rally in the 4th inning, but leave 2 on with 1 hit and 1 error. No one comes across, but the Aces maintain a 3-2 lead. We'll head into the 5th inning, where Aussie Mike will take back over the play-by-play. Aces lead it by 1. Makers of Dasher and Fisher began in 2017 with a vision to specialize in gins that speak of place and express Tasmania's remoteness and untouched beauty. Taste the rich, fertile soils and pure Cradle Mountain snowmelt in every drop of Dasher and Fisher Tasmanian Gin. Crew fitness and performance has a more than vision. What drives the crew team and its members is a dedication to community and an eagerness to be surrounded by a personal growth culture. Stop into their location in Braybrook or Harper's Crossing to see for yourself. And Aces fans, now is the time to save on Aces memberships for next season. Save an average of $65 per membership when you sign up today with early bird pricing. Reserve your seat anywhere in the ballpark and save big when you come to Melbourne Ballpark this weekend and sign up with our staff. This offer is only available for a limited time, so come to a game and sign up now with deals starting as low as $20. Come watch the Aces live and score big for next year. The Aces have scored pretty big so far. They take a 3-2 lead into the 5th inning. And we'll give the mic to Aussie Mike.
I got the mic ready to go, ×2. So Steve Kent back to work after striking out the side in order in the 4th. He's fanned the last 4 batters that he's faced. He allowed 2 solo home runs and a double in the top of the 3rd. But since then, it's all strikeouts, and Kent looks like he's rolling once again. Steve retired the first 6 batters of the game that he's faced, so 3 1-2-3 innings tonight. It's just that 3rd inning, the minor blemish on his line score. 3 runs on 6 hits, no errors for the Aces, 2 runs on 3 hits, 2 errors for the Giants. All 5 runs in this game came in the 3rd inning. Adelaide got the 2 on solo shots from McCardle and Ward. And then the Aces got him right back and then some. Glendinning, an RBI single, George an RBI single to tie it, and the go-ahead run came in on a wild pitch. So Kent back to work, working with the lead again. McCardle, Ryan January, and Ian Walters. See what Steve does second time around with McCardle, who took him deep to left on a ball that he just got up in the air. The wind did the rest. At the time, it gave Adelaide a 1-0 lead. Now, coming into this game, Kent owned a .270 ERA as a starter this season, just 3 earned runs in 10 innings of work. His last 2 outings have been starts after 11 relief appearances to start his year. Really good strikeout to walk ratio. And with the 5 strikeouts in tonight's ball game, he's up to 33 on the season with only 7 walks. And he's done that in 27 innings. So more than a strikeout per inning for the Canberra native. 33 years old, and he continues to put up big numbers in the ABL. Here's the 2-1, swing and a miss. Good fastball there from Steve. So his numbers as a starter now, counting the 5 strikeouts tonight, 16 strikeouts and only 2 walks in 3 starts. He's not giving up free passes, and another reason why the solo home run's not a big issue for him. Hot shot to short. Dale has it in the shift. So it's a 5-3 putout, but Dale was playing where he normally plays when he's at short. And the leadoff man gone again. 5 leadoff men, 5 outs tonight for Steve Kent.
And that's one shift that I don't really get. Like, I understand, you shift Glendinning over to play up the middle, but, they have the third baseman playing shortstop, essentially, there.
Yeah.
Luckily, everyone in the Aces infield has played shortstop at one point this season, aside from Darryl George.
Makes it a lot easier to shift when you've got guys who can pretty much play every position on the diamond. Here's Ryan January, the DH, popped out to short his first time up. And a lot of times we'll see over in the United States, teams use the defensive shift. As this one sent high in the air, deep right center. Robson gives chase. Whitefield, though, will make the grab in right center. I got to tell you, Josh, I thought that ball was headed for Robson, but it was Whitefield who camped under it. I don't know if the wind had played any role there, but 2 up, 2 down for Kent.
Yeah, it looked like it just kind of died in the wind a little bit there. Really well hit ball by January. But pretty much anything in the center field area, Aaron Whitefield's going to find it and make the grab, making that look pretty easy.
To the point about shifting, as Ian Walters comes up to the plate, a lot of teams in the United States will use shifting to kind of hide somebody in the field. You know, guys aren't as sound defensively, but they're in the lineup because of their bats, so teams shift to try to put those defensively challenged players in better positions to make plays where they don't have to cover as much ground or don't have to make as far of a throw. But that's not an issue at all for this Aces team because, like you said, everybody can play shortstop pretty much. Even Darryl George has spent a lot of his career over in the 6-hole. Here's the 1-1 from Kent, flicked foul, 1-2. Kent's been around a while. 10 seasons with the Canberra Cavalry. It's his first in Melbourne. In his younger days, 6 minor league seasons in the Atlanta Braves organization. He won 10 games in his minor league career, mostly pitching out of the bullpen. Started 30 games, but worked 109 total. Respectable 4.12 ERA in the minors. 1-2 pitch, swing and a miss. Another strikeout for Kent. He's got 6 in the game, and he continues to mow down these Giants hitters. 4 1-2-3 innings over 5 innings of 2-run ball. He sends the Aces back in the dugout with a chance to add to their 3-2 lead. We'll go to the bottom half of the 5th after this on Aces TV.
At the Sporting Globe, we're a little different to other pubs and bars. We have more than just cooks, we have chefs. We have more than bar service, we have table service. We have more than specials, we have specialties. We have more than live sporting events, we have atmosphere. And we have more than customers, we have fans. It's more than a sports bar, it's a Sporting Globe.
Your favourite meals from Light and Easy's new spring menu and enjoy amazing food, more free time and a healthier life. No shopping or cooking and no contracts or subscriptions. Just your choice of affordable, delicious meals delivered to your door. Order today.
Create the perfect look for your home with U-Blind's once-a-year stock take sale. For 2 weeks only, all U-Blind's products are half price. Yes, half price. U-Blind's Australia. More value for you. Head to ublinds.com.au.
Take a look at the big crowd on hand here at Melbourne Ballpark for Game 3 of 4 against the Canberra Cavalry. Plenty of people out over down the right and left field lines, the Cyclone Toolshed down left field, the All-Star Bar down the right field line. Not a bad seat in the house at Melbourne Ballpark, and the Aces had a season-high crowd of 1,801 fans in attendance last night. Got to see an Aces walk-off win. Jared Dale, a 10th-inning single to center to bring home Jake Skoll, and the Aces finished off a 7-6 win over the Giants. They lead it 3-2 here in the bottom of the 5th as the Major League veteran Ryan Lavarnway steps in the batter's box. It's Lavarnway, Dale, and Whitefield. Lavarnway, a 6th-round pick of the Red Sox out of Yale back in 2008. Takes a strike on the outer half. It's 1-1. Lavarnway had an excellent collegiate career at Yale, and it's one of the reasons why he was a top 10 round pick. Lavarnway played 3 seasons of college ball at Yale. In 120 career college games, he hit 33 homers, he smacked 33 doubles, drove in 122 runs, and posted a .384 batting average with a .475 on base. As a 21-year-old in his final season of college ball, he hit .398 with 13 homers. The year prior, his sophomore year, he hit .476 with 14 homers. He sends this one in the air to deep right. McCardle camps under it, though, and he makes the grab for the first out here in the 5th. Josh, I love going back and looking at professional athletes' college and high school stats, and it's just crazy to see some of the numbers that these guys put up. Really in any sport, but in baseball especially, you see a guy hit 467 in a season. I mean, that's just ridiculous.
I mean, you compare that to the major leagues. Obviously, there's more people doing it in college in a shorter season, but it's still not a whole lot of guys. There's only one player who's finished a season hitting over 400, and that happened in the 40s. So you see a guy doing it no matter how many fewer games, it's still incredible, and 467 is just ridiculous.
So Jared Dale gets a shot. He ripped a single into center his last time up. Seems to be barreling everything up these days. He swings over that pitch. It's 2-1. This is Dale's 27th game of the ABL season. Played in over 130 minor league games earlier this year. A guy who's just makes himself available every day. He can play multiple infield positions. He's had some time in the outfield, but a primary shortstop. He is smooth with the glove. 134 minor league games this year, add on the 27 here in the ABL. And that's 161 professional baseball games in less than a calendar year.
And for anyone who's counting, that's one short of a full MLB season.
Yeah. He's young. It's not a big deal for him. He's only 22.
Might not be a big deal for him, but it's still impressive.
No, exactly. That's the point I'm making. You don't see a lot of guys play every single day anymore. I mean, as days off become a bigger thing. Line drive into left, and Dale keeps on hitting. He's 2 for 3 with a pair of singles. Another multi-hit game for Jared, and he is a one-out base runner for Aaron Whitefield. That's his 6th multi-hit game this season.
Brings out center fielder Aaron Whitefield.
He's now tied for 2nd on the team for most multi-hit games. His buddy Robbie Glendinning has the most with 7, but Dale, Osborne, and Skoll each have 6. Dale's still looking for his first 3-hit game of the year. We'll see if he can do that later on. He's going to get at least one more at bat, probably 2. Dale takes off for 2nd. A good throw down to 2nd, and they got him. Anthony Kirion showing off his arm behind the plate. Dale had a pretty good jump, but Kirion did the rest, and throw had to be right on the money. It was.
Yeah, that was exactly like you said. A really good jump by Dale. You see him off and running well before the pitch was thrown, but good jump, better throw by Kirion, and a big out number 2. And it looked like Whitefield tried to protect him with that bunt there.
So with 2 down and the base is empty, see what Whitefield can do, see if he can start something up. 1-1 popped up right side. We'll see who wants it. It looks like Ward's under it. He is. And the inning is over. No runs, 1 hit, no errors, none left through 5 full. It's the Aces 3 and the Giants 2. We'll head to the top of the 6th with Ed Wyatt joining me in the booth. Josh will take a quick break, and Ed will join us on the broadcast. So stick with us here on Aces TV.
Oh, we've been there for every game, a 4 and 20 pie. When Meatloaf overcooked it and Gregan saved that try. When Brownie takes one for the team and Bradbury skated by. This golden crusty pastry watched as Taylor kicked the sky. When Ben Simmons makes a 3, we give a big high five. What future sport looks like just won't be right without a pie. Oh, what a lovely pie, me mates a 4 and 20 pie. Oi!
One Love is there for the moments with the people you love the most. To share the highs and the lows together. It's the one for all people, all times, and all places. Brick Lane's One Love Pale Ale. It's the one for all.
We move to the top of the 6th inning at Melbourne Ballpark. Michael Mark Cantonini and Ed Wyatt with you in the booth. Josh taking a break here for the 6th inning, and that opens up a roster spot for Ed Wyatt up here in the booth. Ed, good to have you back in the booth with us for 3 innings tonight. We're bumping you up to another one.
Great to be called up to the majors again, guys. 31 degrees outside, so it is cooling a little bit, but it is still pretty toasty out there.
Did you stay cool while you were in the stands for the first few innings?
I did 4 innings, 3 innings in the stands, and then I went to the air conditioning for 2 innings.
Okay,
I have to be honest.
I can't fault you for that. I'd be doing the same. If you got access to it, you might as well use it.
Absolutely right. Been great watching Stephen Kent, by the way, just a veteran coming in and doing what he does. Limits the runs, limits the hits, and fights back when he does give up some runs.
Like you said, Ed, Kent back out there. Nick Ward, Michael Martinez, Anthony Kirion, the top 3 in the Giants' order to face him. Ward homered to left with 2 outs in the 3rd. That brought home the 2nd of the 2 Adelaide runs. They haven't scored since. They haven't had a base runner since. They've had 1 base runner since.
I didn't think his home run was going. It was one of those, I think he's got it under control, and then suddenly you see Burke turn, and it drifts over the fence.
1-1 to Ward, up and in. And the count's 2-1.
Wind has died down. I think early on we did have some wind sort of blowing in that direction that carried those home runs from McCardle and Ward. But now, if you look at the flags, they're absolutely dead straight.
Steve's done a good job keeping the ball in the ballpark ever since allowing the 2nd homer. McCardle and Ward solo shots for the Giants in the 3rd. That's it. Swing and a miss there from Nick. It's 2-2. The Aces, a pair of RBI singles from Glendinning and George to tie the game. And the difference right now, the Aces got the go-ahead run on a wild pitch. All 5 runs of the game scored in the 3rd inning, 0 since.
Yeah, and you look at that scorebook, Mike, you've got some runners left on base. It could be 5-2 at the moment.
Yeah. The Aces have had scoring opportunities all night. They did cash in the 3rd. Ward swings and tips one, just got a piece of it, and he stays alive. But how about 4 1-2-3 innings for Steve Kent tonight with that 2-run inning sandwiched in between, but had a run of 4 strikeouts in a row. He's got 6 punch-outs in the game.
Yeah, and that's the thing I was alluding to that I like about him. He has those back-to-back, 3 up, 3 down. Then he gives up the 2 home runs in 1 inning, and comes back and strikes out the side. I mean, that's remarkable resilience.
See what he does here? 2-2, breaking ball whacked over to first. Nice job by George to knock it down. Foot race to the bag. He beat him.
How good has Georgie been over at first in these past couple of games? Jeepers.
Fleet of foot over there at first. He moves so well around the bag. Great job to knock that down, too, because that ball got on him in a hurry.
Yeah, it was hit hard. Have a look at it here on the replay. Stops it, knocks it down. Then that little step on the bag and a little sort of high step so he doesn't get spiked.
That's a great replay there. Yeah, great shot. It brings up Michael Martinez. Well, that was a soggy liner off the bat of Nick Ward. That's a have you ever heard the term soggy liner on a baseball broadcast?
No, I haven't.
So Cody Mincy was talking to Josh and I earlier in the year, and he wanted us to work that in. So I finally did for him. I wasn't able to do it in any of his starts. Now, of course, I didn't have an opportunity to use it when he was on the mound because he wasn't giving up a lot of hard hit balls, which is good. That's what we wanted. But I didn't use it when the Aces were at bat in any of his starts, so I wish I would have gotten around to that.
I like it.
But I had to throw that out. Another look at the replay. Just beat Ward to the bag, did Darryl George.
Second one tonight for George.
So with 1 gone and no one on, here's Michael Martinez. Another storyline tonight, Ed. Not only 4 1-2-3 innings for Kent, but he's retired the leadoff man in every frame so far. Just makes things so much easier.
Yep.
When you get that first guy out. One to Martinez. Bounce to the left side. This is right side. It's going to be a tough play, but look at Darryl George with the flip. Steve Kent gets himself over to the bag in time. Darryl George, smooth work over at first base.
Just continues to play that position so well. Here we go. We get a look at it again.
It's a ball that I think Martinez chopped that off the plate, so it bounced weird. And right there, just taking a look at where Martinez was and where George was, I'm thinking infield hit all the way.
And it kind of goes with that sideways throw. When you look at it again, it was just a remarkable offloading of the ball. Now we got a big congregation at the mound.
Yeah, I think they're taking a look at Steve, and by the body language, he looks like he's all right. I got to imagine they're checking on the collision with Martinez over at first. It didn't look like it was that bad, but still you want to check and make sure he's all good. I wonder if they'll give him a couple warm-up tosses.
He's got a smile on his face. I think
they might just want to be giving him a breather right there.
Yeah, good point. Here we go.
Yeah, this is a great look at it. And right after Kent beat Martinez, it looked like Kent was grabbing around that left knee, but that could have been just to try to keep his balance. Either way, he gets a breather one way or another, and it looks like he's good to go.
It worked out. Look at that guy. That is a baseball pitcher right there.
Oh, yeah.
Look at him.
Yeah, this is the longest outing of Kent's season. He worked 5 innings in each of his first 2 starts. Now 5 2/3 innings of 2-run ball. And he's looking for his 5th perfect inning of the contest.
Must like the hot weather, Michael.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, does it get this hot or hotter in Canberra? He must be used to it. 10 years over there. Well, his whole life over there, 10 years in the ABL.
Yeah, I don't know enough about the Canberra weather, I'll be honest. I've only been up there once, and it was winter. It was cold. It actually snows there.
Okay.
You can see the occasional snow in the city of Canberra.
Wow. You guys don't get snow here in Melbourne, do you?
No, I've never seen it. Sort of up in the hills in the areas outside Melbourne, but Melbourne CBD city proper, no.
Well, the areas that don't get snow, those are my kind of areas. I've seen enough snow over the United States in my lifetime.
I'm sure you have.
I'd be cool never seeing it again. See, this right here, this is hot, but I like it. I much prefer this. I much prefer the temperatures around the 40s than a cold day.
Fair enough.
2-1 to count on the 3-hole hitter Anthony Kirian. Kirian, a nice night defensively throughout. Jared Dale trying to steal second in the last half inning. 0 for 2 at the plate.
Had a couple of hits yesterday, or last night, I should say.
2-1, flicked foul. Kent's done a really good job mixing his pitches and keeping these Giants hitters guessing. Went with the breaking ball there. We'll see what he comes with on 2-2. Kent's retired 9 in a row. We'll see if he can make it 10. Just 3 hits allowed. They all came in the 3rd inning. No walks. Not giving up free passes. That's why he's been so successful. 2-2. Hard hit on the ground to the left side. A jump throw from Glendinning across the diamond, and he got him.
What a play.
Robbie Glendinning channeling his Derek Jeter, and the inning is over. Another 1-2-3 frame for Steve Kent. He preserves a 1-run lead. Robbie Glendinning flashing the leather, showing off the cannon. 3-2 Aces will head to the home half of the 6th after a quick break on TV.
For over 40 years, All Green Nursery has been providing the communities of Melbourne's western and northern suburbs the best advice and results for their gardens. Our retail centre, indoor plant space and expansive nursery floor showcases over 150 varieties of vibrant plants, most of them grown locally right here in Werribee South. We have qualified horticulturalists on site to help assist with all your gardening needs, and our home decor section is stocked with a full range of quality options. All Green Nursery, your local plant nursery and garden centre. Visit our sites in Hoppers Crossing and Epping. All-Star Access Hire are your access equipment specialists. We have an extensive range of state-of-the-art equipment and we pride ourselves on delivering outstanding customer service. We have the youngest fleet of equipment in Victoria and we are consistently adding new machines. We get to know our customers and form partnerships with them. This video is of our partnership with the Victorian Government at Reservoir Station. All-Star Access Hire are proud sponsors of the Melbourne Aces and our All-Star Bar.
Back with you on Aces TV. Let's take a look at the play by Robbie Glendinning to end the top of the sixth. Backhand jump throw across the diamond. A beautiful throw to Daryl George, who stretched, and they just got Kirion at first base. How about that one, Ed?
Just watching it right now again, and he absolutely got him. I wasn't sure when I saw it live. It looked like one of those, where it's close and the ump makes the big play and gives it to him.
Yeah.
That was legitimately out. Phenomenal play by Glendinning.
Great crowd on hand tonight to see it, but Robbie Glendinning, a guy who's, you can pencil him in for a 300-plus batting average every year, and then he does things like that out at shortstop. A complete player. What a play. That's up there for Defensive Play of the Year for the Aces, as Robson drops a bunt down to the left side, and he'll beat it to first. An infield hit for Robson to start things up in the bottom of the sixth.
There we go. That's a great way to start off an inning.
Aces looking for some insurance, up 3-2, bottom of the sixth.
Yeah, well, after yesterday's 5-0 lead disappeared quickly,
yeah.
Insurance is probably an understatement.
Absolutely. Got to have it. Be interesting to see if Khalil maybe tries to drop a bunt down and move Robson. Maybe a little hit and run action.
He's been fun to watch, hasn't he, Khalil?
Oh, yeah. Really coming on strong.
Yeah.
Robson takes off for second. Pitch is high. Throw is a good one, but Robson beat it. A stolen base for Jacob Robson, and just like that, the Aces have a man in scoring position with no outs. For Robson, it's his 8th stolen base of the season in 10 tries. A bunt single on the first pitch of the inning. He steals second on the second pitch. Taking a look at this replay right here.
Got a good jump.
And it was a good throw. It was bang, bang, but Robson got his foot in. To your point, Ed, about Khalil at the plate and how he's come on strong as a hitter this year. I mean, already was flashy with the glove, but really worked on his approach at the plate, and he's hitting a lot of balls hard. Check swing to the right side. He didn't want to do it, but it's going to be a productive out. 4-3 on the putout, and it works just as well as a hot shot to second would have.
Certainly does. You're right. He just sort of checked his swing on that. But 3 for 4 yesterday. Really important at the plate in that win last night. And now the Aces got a man on third, chance to score with a sac fly or obviously a hit, even a ground ball potentially.
Well, the Giants bring the infield about halfway, not completely in. Nobody's on the grass. But each infield defender about a step or a step and a half in front of that or behind that grass. First pitch to Chris Burke, misses outside. Big spot in the game here as the Aces look to extend their lead.
And of course, we say grass loosely with that artificial turf out there. We know what you mean.
Burke singles in each of his first 2 plate appearances. He's 2 for 3. Pitch misses outside, and there's so much going on at the beginning of the inning with the replays of the sweet defensive plays. Forgot to mention we've got a punt 1-2-3 pitching change. Right-hander Bubby Rossman into the game for the second time this series. He replaces Josh Tolles, who worked 4 innings in relief of Starlin Castillo. Second time I've done that. 2-0 to Burke, takes high. Castillo went just 1+, exited with a knee injury. And then the former ace Josh Tolles.
It was funny seeing him come out to the mound. That familiar sort of pitching style that we've seen here at the Aces for so many years.
Well, it was 2+ for Castillo and 3 for Tolles. 3-0, taking all the way. And now Burke in the driver's seat with the count 3-1. 5 innings of 2-run ball for Steve Kent. 6 innings of 2-run ball for Kent on the flip side as Burke takes low, ball 4. 5 1-2-3 innings for Kent in his 3rd start of the year. He's on the winning end of this right now. The Aces looking to get him some insurance runs. Robson led off the inning with a bunt single. Stole second, moved to third on Khalil's ground out. Now Burke walks. And I got to imagine the atmosphere in the ballpark these last couple nights reminds you a lot of what you saw over the 2 championship seasons.
Yeah, last night certainly did, and we're not trying to reminisce too much about that, but it's kind of what you look at and expect from the Aces. You've come to expect that. So last night was definitely one of those things, without a doubt. And I was really happy that you guys got to call that in the booth because it's been a tough year.
Yeah, that was fun.
That was sensational last night. I played it back on a drive home. Great to hear it.
Here's Glendinning with 2 at the corners. Big swing there. It's 0-1. Robbie drove in the first run of the game for the Aces. The atmosphere was electric last night.
Sure was.
Just to be a part of that. 3rd walk-off win of the season for the Aces. A win they truly earned, a team win. 0-1. Glendinning takes off the plate, but it's called a strike. And yeah, Glendinning, you see him just dropping the bat there. He knows it wasn't a strike.
He was not happy with that.
I mean, he knows the strike zone so well. And,
of course he does.
And that was off the plate.
Yep.
Changes the at-bat, but we'll see what he can do with the count 0-2. Pitch from Rossman. That's down 1-2.
That's off the plate.
Yeah.
That one's definitely off the plate. 1,801 last night. 1,801 fans at the ballpark. Parked up the street. Parked down in right center field. Incredible crowd, and they got some serious entertainment last night.
Love seeing a full car park here at Melbourne Ballpark.
Absolutely.
It's a hot one tonight, but the fans showing out for their Aces. 1-2. It gets away from Kirion. It goes up the netting, and Robson scores. 4-2 Aces. A much-needed insurance run. Burke up to second. And I thought for a second they were going to maybe give him third with the way the ball went up the netting out of play, but it looks like Burke will stay at second. But another run for the Aces, 4-2.
Huge. Just a break, one of those things we talked about, getting the breaks.
So another man in scoring position. Glendinning will hit with the count at 2-2. Rossman ready to pitch. Fastball. That one missed. Could have been ball 4, but it's just ball 3.
That might have been payback for that going off the plate there.
Yeah. Little makeup call.
That never happens, does it? Big pitch right here.
Full count offering coming with Skoll on deck. Here's the pitch to Glendinning. Swing and a miss. Got him on the fastball up. That's out number 2 in the 6th.
It's a nice pitch from Rossman.
Elevated fastball. It's so effective in today's game.
It is.
Especially with the launch angles. I'm not saying that was the case there, but
yep.
But generally speaking.
You know, it's interesting. You talk about that championship a couple of years and all that. Ace is getting some runs tonight on the small ball. Yeah. Getting some steals, some pass balls or wild pitches.
Taking advantage of mistakes once again, but also creating mistakes because of the small ball that you talked about.
Exactly right.
Yeah. And that's a fun brand of baseball. It's not something that you see every night, or not something you need to see every night. But when teams mix it in, it changes things up, and it's fun to see that because everybody's always in motion with small ball.
You're absolutely right.
Skoll, the designated hitter's 1 for 3, singled his last time up. 1-0 from Rossman. That's high. Well, the Aces showed some resilience last night. They led 5-0 early. The lead was erased pretty quickly in the middle innings, and they trailed in the bottom of the 10th and won it. Tonight, trailed early, came right back. Now adding to the lead. Burke dancing out at second. Skoll fouls off the 2-0.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. It was one of those, looking good. Suddenly it's tied. You're deflated a bit. That incredible catch in the bottom of the 9th that saved the game and sent it to extra innings. Then fall behind right? And then come back in the bottom of the 10th to win it. Just remarkable. Hadn't really seen that a lot this year.
They picked the perfect night to do it with the season-high crowd.
Yeah.
Everybody stayed to see the end of that one last night. Skull tips the 2-1 into the glove. It's 2-2.
Yeah, and then the fireworks going off, and it was just a great night.
I thought it was the best fireworks show of the season. It was pretty epic.
It was. Maybe that was just because it was a win, a big win like that. But yeah, it was. It was great.
And it was great seeing the fireworks going off with the team celebrating out on the field.
Celebration was fantastic, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was really cool to see. 2-2 pitch. This one gets away from Kirian, and Burke moves up 90 feet.
Here we go.
That one's probably a pass ball.
I think you're right.
Just in and out of the glove. Tough inning for Kirian behind the dish. So Burke 90 feet away from scoring another insurance run for the Aces. Big bat and Darryl George on deck, but a big bat at the dish right now with Jake Skoll. 9 hits in the game for the Aces. Can they get to double digits here? Payoff from Rossman, fouled back.
Temperatures dropped another degree to 30, so it is slowly going down, but it's not exactly cool yet, I would say.
No, definitely
but you like
not.
it, so
I do. I'd rather this than to be freezing up here like I was for the first 2 rounds of the season. Wearing multiple layers.
Another foul.
I thought coming to Australia I would need just layer.
Yeah.
Not plural. And then I get here and I've got shirt, I've got hoodie, I've got quarter zip over that, winter hat over the first few weeks I was here.
They give you a bum steer on Melbourne, to be honest. Australia proper, you're probably right. Melbourne, a little bit different.
I was prepared with the right clothes. I just didn't think I'd have to wear them all. 3-2. Skoll rips one into right center. It's down. Burke comes in to score. The ball gets all the way to the wall. Skoll digging for 2. He stops there. It's an RBI 2-bagger with swagger for Jake Skoll. And the Aces go up 5-2 here in the 6th.
Nice stuff. Beautiful piece of hitting. Right in that gap between center field and right field. Skoll ends up on second. And as you mentioned, Mike, another insurance run.
Helping out Aces starter Steve Kent, who has turned in a quality start. Kent needed 91 pitches to get through 6, so we'll see if he comes back out for a 7th. But if he doesn't, he's on the winning end right now thanks to what the bats are doing behind him. Here's Darryl George as the line keeps moving. Well, that double for Skoll was the Aces' first extra base hit of the night. He trades places with Burke out on base. Darryl takes up and in. It counts 1-0. Well, it's great to see the Aces grab the lead in the early innings and then to not quit, not be content with that 1-run advantage and just keep going. 1-0, Darryl chases. It's 1-1.
And we talked about that mathematical equation. You're never out of it. Just got to keep winning, do your part, see what happens.
Aces holding up their end right now as they came into tonight's game with their elimination number at 2. Perth up big over Canberra in their game. So that doesn't help the Aces, but they're doing what they need to do and controlling what they can control. Well, that game's gone final in Canberra. 14-1 Perth Heat win over the Cavalry.
Yeah, thanks, Canberra. Jeez.
They helped out last night, not tonight.
Yeah, no. They don't be too generous, I guess. That is a bummer.
Scores elsewhere around the ABL. Geelong, Korea, a 9-5 win over the Auckland Tuatara. That one in Geelong. And then the Brisbane Bandits, 27-7. They keep rolling. A 5-1 win over Sydney in Brisbane.
Yeah, that's impressive.
Less than a loss per round. It's hard to do. 1-2 off the plate. You ever seen anything like that in the ABL?
Literally about to say I can't recall anything like that. I may have been in the early years, but Boy, not recently that I can think of.
Pure dominance. And Brisbane and Adelaide, the two best teams in the ABL this year. Brisbane just took 3 of 4 from them. I mean, that's even more impressive. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs on George. Pitch, check swing, foul. He stays alive.
Yeah, they've been impressive all year. Jumped out pretty quickly at the start of the season. There's George with the old check swing.
And regardless of how the playoff field shakes out, we know Brisbane's there, we know Adelaide's there. Going to be some exciting playoff games this year. A lot of talent around the league.
Indeed.
Aces hoping they can get there, trying to stay alive. And George doesn't stay alive there. He goes down on strikes, and the inning is over. 2 strikeouts for Rossman, but the Aces get 2 runs of their own. They extend their lead to 5-2. They get a run on a wild pitch, and Jake Skoll delivers another with an RBI double. So after 6 full, it's the Aces by 3. We head to the top of the 7th. After this, I'll take a quick break. Josh will hop back in. Ed, you're sticking around.
I will.
Always fun chatting some ball with you on the air. And you get to do it with Josh over the next couple innings. Take a quick break on Aces TV.
Aussie gardeners are best served by Aussie tools, built specifically for our unique environment and conditions. Back in the 1890s, Leonard Chambers and William Thompson started a beekeeping supply business in Melbourne. Little would they know that their company would go on to change how Australians garden for well over a century. Cyclone is ingrained into our country's history and our way of life. Our tools are long-lasting and purpose-built for hard work.
We've been making quality tools for over a century.
They last that long, you can hand them down to the next generation. Good, quality, honest product that the Australian people have grown to love.
It's not an Aussie shed without a cyclone.
My biggest takeaway of being here for 34 years is just sense of pride in the product.
Australians buy good products. So if they keep on buying, we keep on making, so we're here.
Cyclone tools, made for Australians.
When enjoying a punt, easy does it with Punt 123. Punt123.bet is your home for all your punting needs with same race multis and same game multi options, including daily promotions on all the major sporting and racing events. It's punting made easy. Get in the game with Punt 123. Visit punt123.bet or download the app today. Gamble responsibly. If gambling becomes an issue for you, call 1-800-858-858.
A beautiful baseball sky here in the top of the 7th, and we'll take another look at that Diamond Dash.
That kid in the red and blue absolutely got an illegal start.
Yeah.
That should have been called back,
I think
restarted.
A false start. I think Chris Burke joined the Diamond Dash a little bit it looks like. And 5-2 the score now for the Aces, Diamond Dash notwithstanding. 1-0 count to Quincy Lattimore as the new pitcher for the Aces, Matt Beattie, now sends it 2-0. It's another punt 1-2-3 pitching change for Melbourne, and that means the night is over for Steve Kent, who was spectacular. 2 home runs and a double, and after that double, he retired every single batter that he faced.
It's just what he does, isn't it? We were talking about that. He's just one of those guys. It's just a gutsy veteran pitcher, and he can just fight his way out of it. That is fair.
Lattimore rolls that down the third base line. That should go for extra bases for him. All the way into the corner is Burke, and Lattimore stands on second base with a leadoff double.
Now, Speaking of veterans, that's another one right there. Quincy Lattimore, tight game, steps up, delivers. We've come to expect that from him over the years, obviously with the Aces and now with the Adelaide Giants.
And he's got an extra base hit in every game of this series thus far. A homer in game 1, a big double last night, and now this one that rolled into the corner to lead off the 7th. That's the first time in the last 7 innings that Matt Beattie has allowed a base runner.
Wow.
and the first base runner that the Giants have had since Michael Martinez's double back in the third. 4 hits for Adelaide now. All of them have gone for extra bases as Carr lifts this one deep into center field. Whitefield going back, looking up, and that ball is gone.
Wow.
A 2-run blast by Jared Carr, and this is getting interesting. 5-4 the score here in the top of the 7th inning as Carr gets his first hit of the game. 5 hits now for Adelaide, 3 home runs.
Yeah, they're using the long ball for sure, and getting interesting, Josh, is potentially an understatement there because it's getting tight, getting nerve-wracking, whatever you want to say. But, geez, that's the way to start an inning if you're an Adelaide Giant supporter.
Or if you're a Perth Heat supporter.
Yeah, well, yeah, that too.
The Heat are the team that control their own destiny with their win against Canberra. Their magic number to clinch a playoff spot is now 1. And that Heat game was over in a hurry. 9-0 within the first 3 innings. Perth won it 14-1. Josh Reddick was in to pitch for a little bit as this one is lifted over the glove of Jacob Robson. Looked like he had an easy fly ball, and Robson and Whitefield kind of got their signals crossed, it seemed like, as another base runner, this time Liam Spence, gets on to first.
They went and had a little chat after that to clarify something. We'll get a look at it here on the replay, Josh.
Well,
Actually,
first,
that's
this is
the home run.
Yeah, first this is the Carr home run. And now Peter Moylan is going to quickly come and take the ball from Matt Beattie.
Wow.
The season on the line, and Peter Moylan not wasting any time. A 7-inning scoreless and hitless streak for Beattie ends with a double, a home run, and a slightly misplayed ball by Robson. And now the go-ahead run is Jordan McArdle, who has a pair of home runs already this series. It'll be a punt 1-2-3 pitching change for the Aces, and John Kennedy is going to come in to secure this thing for Melbourne. A runner on first base with a new pitcher for the Aces, and we are going to take a quick break here on Aces TV. 5-4 the score, the Aces season in the hands of John Kennedy.
When enjoying a punt, easy does it with Punt 123. Punt123.bet is your home for all your punting needs with same race multis and same game multi options, including daily promotions on all the major sporting and racing events. It's punting made easy. Get in the game with Punt 123. Visit punt123.bet or download the app today. Gamble responsibly. If gambling becomes an issue for you, call 1-800-858-858.
Create the perfect look for your home with U-Blind's once-a-year stock take sale. For 2 weeks only, all U-Blind's products are half price. Yes, half price. U-Blind's Australia. More value for you. Head to ublinds.com.au.
On the mound, John Kennedy.
A beautiful baseball sky once again in Melbourne, top of the 7th, with a less beautiful storyline unfolding here. John Kennedy coming on to replace Matt Beattie after three batters yielded 3 hits, including this big one from Jared Carr.
We talked about the resilience of the Aces yesterday. Same thing could be said about the Adelaide Giants. Both yesterday fighting back from that 5-0 deficit, and then tonight, as you said, not had a hit since the 3rd inning. And suddenly they've put 3 on the board here in the 7th, including that home run, and they are right back in this thing. Fortunately, the Aces did get a couple of those insurance runs and do have the lead 5-4, but this is a scary scenario if you're Melbourne Aces fan or player or coach.
The elimination number for Melbourne now 1 with Perth's victory. And Matt Beattie allows 2 runs on 3 hits, is responsible for the tying runner on first base, who is named Liam Spence. And now Jordan McArdle takes a first pitch slider. First strike 1.
Yeah, he hit a home run yesterday, home run today. Veteran player.
Lefty on lefty matchup. Kennedy deals, and it's another slider, another strike.
Yeah, good pitch, that one. If you get him out here, it's a real key out.
And this is something that Kennedy has done just about all season. Coming in sticky situations. 0-2. Hit the other way to short, fielded by Dale. Flip to second for one. On to first, double play, and that is massive for the Aces. The shift pays off, and Jared Dale starts an around the horn double play for 2 huge outs here in the 7th.
Just as you said that about John Kennedy, he induces that ground ball, double play, 2 outs, just sort of nullifies that dangerous scenario for the moment.
So we can now close the book on both Aces pitchers as we take another look. Just a textbook double play, actually a 5-6-3 double play with the shift on.
Ah, good point, yes. I'll need to amend my scorebook.
It's just that weird overshift again.
Yeah, it is.
Luckily, this is the last year of shifts in the U.S. Should be in the ABL as well, but now not so lucky as Ryan January is plunked by John Kennedy.
Tell you what, January didn't exactly do a lot to get out of the way there. I don't blame him, but he didn't make much of an effort.
Kind of like Martin Maldonado back in the World Series. Except I still contend that he leaned into that pitch. And then Yordan Alvarez does what Yordan Alvarez does. But that's neither here nor there. Anyways, the tying run back on first, and a first pitch slider misses away to Ian Walters for ball 1. As we take another look, he didn't even move. Come on.
It's like a statue.
Front shoulder, and he just stands there like, come on, buddy.
I guess when you need a run, you do anything you can to get on base.
Yeah, there's some umpires that would call that a ball. But anyway, it's a 2-0 count now to Ian Walters, who was grounded out and struck out in his two previous at-bats. Another left-on-left matchup, a big reason why Kennedy came in.
Uh-oh.
And that's not good.
Nope.
High fly ball into right field. The wind's going to keep that in the ballpark, and Robson makes no mistake about it. He makes the catch on the warning track, and the Aces maintain the lead. But Adelaide chips away just a little bit. A 2-run shot by Jared Carr. And let's stretch it up here in the 7th inning. 5-4, Aces lead. And they need to keep ahead in this one to keep their season alive. Bottom of the 7th coming up on Aces TV.
At the Sporting Globe, we're a little different to other pubs and bars. We have more than just cooks, we have chefs. We have more than bar service, we have table service. We have more than specials, we have specialties. We have more than live sporting events, we have atmosphere. And we have more than customers, we have fans. It's more than a sports bar, it's a Sporting Globe.
Order your favourite meals from Light and Easy's new spring menu and enjoy amazing food, more free time and a healthier life. No shopping or cooking and no contracts or subscriptions. Just your choice of affordable, delicious meals delivered to your door. Order today.
Create the perfect look for your home with U-Blind's once-a-year stock take sale. For 2 weeks only, all U-Blind's products are half price. Yes, half price. U-Blind's Australia. More value for you. Head to ublinds.com.au.
Well, we're all stretched out here at Melbourne Ballpark. A wave running through the stands and a lot of fans packing that All-Star bar once again. And we have a nice and active crowd here at Melbourne Ballpark, and we are certainly going to need it if the Aces are to hold on here.
Yeah,
5-4 the score, and a big inning for Melbourne after 2 runs coming across for Adelaide. It's a punt 1-2-3 pitching change, bringing on Jason Lott in the stead of Bubby Rossman, and he'll face Lavarnway, Dale, and Whitefield for Melbourne. First pitch is in there for a called strike to Lavarnway, who has hit a couple of long foul balls, but nothing in fair territory thus far. 0 for 3 on the day for the 10-year Major League vet. A ground out, fly out, and a strikeout for Ryan, who came up big in the game last night. 0-1. Another breaking ball, but that misses outside. 1-1.
Should have known that this game was going to turn into another tense affair. You just can't get comfortable. These two teams are playing.
I mean, this is playoff baseball.
It kind of is, isn't it?
It might not be the official ABL Finals series, but this is playoff baseball. The Aces are literally in a win-or-go-home scenario right now.
That's right.
And it's 2-1 to Ryan Lavarnway here. As we mentioned, Perth, the victors over Canberra. Perth can win tomorrow, and regardless of what happens tonight or Sunday, the Aces will be out of the postseason. But Melbourne doing everything in their power to keep their postseason hopes alive, try and get into that potentially winner-take-all series against Perth next week with something to play for.
Yeah, that would be fantastic just to have that chance to go mano-a-mano and see if you can get that done. But, you know, when it's out of your control, that's why you want to control your destiny, right? Because no matter what, we can do our part. But if the Heat win, we're done.
The Heat certainly in the ballpark. It's a nice, cool 30-plus degrees. 2-2. Hit on the ground to third. Walters there easily. He'll throw to first and get Lavarnway out for the first out of the 7th inning.
Aussie Mike was talking about how he loves this heat. I'm not convinced you like it as much as him.
The heat? No, I don't. I'm half Canadian. I'm more used to the cold weather.
I'm sort of like you in the Pacific Northwest. Absolutely the same.
It's just kind of baking, but hey, it's better than some of the weather that we started with here in our first couple weeks,
and some of the weather you left behind as well in the States.
Mm-hmm. It was in the negative numbers back home a couple days as Dale lays down a surprise bunt to third base.
Great bunt.
Fielded by Lott and no throw.
That's the second great bunt of the night.
A beautiful infield single by Dale, following up a beautiful infield single also on a bunt from Jacob Robson in the last inning. And Dale, 3 for 4. He's reached base every time.
2 for 4 yesterday as well. He's really in a nice, sweet spot. Look at that. Look at that bunt.
Yeah, speaking of sweet spots, that was perfect. Right on the barrel.
Yeah.
Perfectly placed. And great speed out of the box from Jared.
That's exactly right. What a play.
Almost as fast as Justin Huber in the Diamond Dash the other day.
Now, let's not get carried away. Not that fast.
0-1 now to Whitefield, who's got a whole lot of speed himself. But Dale caught stealing once already. Not sure if he's going to test the arm of Anthony Kirion again. Whitefield, 1 for 2 with a walk. And the Aces in need of some insurance runs here.
Yep.
0-1. Breaking ball, chopped down the third baseline. It won't be 2. Walters speeding towards it. Across the diamond, and Whitefield safe. How about that for some speed? Aaron Whitefield beats out an infield hit, and there's 2 on for the Aces.
You called that perfectly when you said he had that speed. It was a bit of a little nubber down that third baseline. Nice play over there, to be honest, from Walters, but that speed from Whitefield, we got 2 men on.
It's one of those things where Walters did everything he could, and if Whitefield hadn't shaved his beard, he might not have beaten that out. Looks a lot more aerodynamic running now. 2 hits on the day for Whitefield. And now Jacob Robson, who had a decisive insurance run in the 6th, looking to add some more to it. This one is hit up the middle, right to Martinez, and he's going to step on second for an easy double play. An unfortunate way to end the inning for the Aces as the former major leaguer takes it himself. So the Aces leave a runner stranded, and just the ball hit to the wrong spot. But they show plenty of signs of life. Whitefield showing off the wheels after Dale does the same. But the ball goes faster than the man, and the inning ends. But the Aces still in the lead. We'll head into the 8th here in Melbourne. 5-4, Aces lead. Hobson's Bay Dental has delivered the best results through continually updating their skills and technology. Dr. Andrews and his team also take great pride in treating patients like family. Melbourne Aces players trust their teeth to Hobson's Bay Dental, and you should too. Business Network International is flourishing across Melbourne's West and Geelong. Local businesses, including the Aces, join BNI for professional development, networking opportunities, and to increase business prospects. Find your local BNI chapter to tap a wealth of resources and join a winning team. New Era Technology provides specialized IT solutions for your business around internet and voice communications, managed services, as well as secure cloud hosting for data and software. Trusted by the Aces, New Era has an extensive team of engineers and sales professionals who provide hands-on collaboration that is backed by deep industry training. John Kennedy is back on the mound. Actually, I don't think that's Kennedy. I just saw a lefty, and I assumed he'd stay for a full inning. And we have a new pitcher for the Aces. Very new. Well, not to some of you fans, but this punt 1-2-3 call to the bullpen brings Blake Townsend to the mound, a guy you Aces fans are familiar with. He was part of a couple teams a few years ago, not on the championship runs, but now a young prospect in the Mariners system coming off some injuries. Townsend working his way back to the minor leagues here with the Aces.
Yeah, in fact, I just got the memo today that he was batting. The league sends out these emails that says he's on the roster again. Vibrant Services weather, 25 centigrade, 55 in the booth. That might be a slight exaggeration.
No, it might be a lot hotter than that.
70% chance of rain is 1%. Humidity 72%. It's a hot one. I don't know about 25. I'll be honest. I think it's a little bit hotter than that. But hey, who am I to challenge? I'm not a meteorologist. I've never been one on television either. So
I would get fired really quickly if I was a meteorologist.
Well, let's see what Townsend can do here, having just been put onto the roster, as I was saying, just added literally today.
Replacing Cody Mincy on the Aces roster as his first pitch for the Aces in about 5 years is in there for a strike on Nick Ward.
Great way to start.
That means the night's going to be over for Kennedy. And after this next pitch, we'll tell you his line. A big one for the big lefty as Townsend misses upstairs for ball one. So Kennedy, 1 inning, and a clean line after that. No strikeouts, no walks, but that double play was massive.
Yep.
Townsend, a 1-1 on Ward, deals. Grounds that to first. George has been busy. Sliding stop. Townsend gets the flip and tags the bag in time. Darryl George has been incredible on defense, and another great play keeps the speedy Ward off the base path.
And, you know, from Townsend as well, too, to get over there like that. Hasn't really been pitching. First time back, gets thrown into that situation. Does a great job of getting on there.
Yeah, welcome back to the ABL. Here's a PFP for you.
Here's a tight play at first.
Let's take a look here. Deep into first base from George. Look at that stop. And Townsend, that's pretty clear to me.
Yeah, that's great work.
So the big number 5-4, 1 out now as the first pitch to Martinez is popped up to first base. George is going to let Khalil make the grab for him for out number 2.
This is just what we talked about last night. We were talking about that reliever coming in and putting the first batter on and just sort of really getting behind things. This is the perfect way for a reliever to come in, get the first 2 outs. Now get this guy here and get a 1-2-3 inning.
Take another look as Martinez, responsible for that inning-ending double play in the 7th. An easy pop-up and good communication by Khalil to make that grab, as it looks like George lost that in the lights.
And you could see George just kind of duck down and
Yeah.
give Khalil room to make the play. You're right. Great communication.
1-0 now to Kirion, who's 0 for 3 today. A line out, ground out, and a strikeout for the catcher. Kirion, though, does have a good defensive play. Caught Jared Dale stealing a couple innings ago. Popped up again. Foul territory down the first base side, and that's going to be foul.
Thought George might have had a play on it, but I couldn't see from where I am. I just saw him. He looked hopeful.
I think George, he started going towards it, but I thought that was going to end up in the stands. And I think George did as well.
Yeah.
Almost hit our camera person down the first base line.
We don't want that.
No.
And who would take those great pictures?
Yeah, the camera's okay, too. That's the important part.
There it is.
And our camera guy thought it was going to be in the stands, too.
I think you're right.
1-1, hit up the middle, but right to Whitefield. Charges forward, makes the grab in a 1-2-3 inning. A smooth return to the ABL for Blake Townsend. And the Aces now have what they hope to be their final inning of hitting today. 5-4 the score. Aces in the lead. Bottom of the 8th coming up.
At the Sporting Globe, we're a little different to other pubs and bars. We have more than just cooks, we have chefs. We have more than bar service, we have table service. We have more than specials, we have specialties. We have more than live sporting events, we have atmosphere. And we have more than customers, we have fans. It's more than a sports bar, it's a Sporting Globe.
Order your favourite meals from Light and Easy's new spring menu and enjoy amazing food, more free time, and a healthier life. No shopping or cooking and no contracts or subscriptions. Just your choice of affordable, delicious meals delivered to your door. Order today.
Create the perfect look for your home with U-Blind's once-a-year stock take sale. For 2 weeks only, all U-Blind's products are half price. Yes, half price. U-Blind's Australia. More value for you. Head to ublinds.com.au.
Another big crowd, very vocally in support of the Melbourne Aces. And as we've been saying, Ed, now more than ever, the Aces need the help of their fans. 5 runs on 12 hits for Melbourne, and everyone is up on their feet. Well, except for those guys, but those are in 2 comfy chairs.
That's because they're in those premium 2-seater luxury boxes. There's the party deck. You can see people up there having a good time. That's a great place to watch a ball game.
Or do a pregame show.
Show, exactly. Getting a look at that crowd here. Hoping the Aces can add a couple of runs here in the bottom of the 8th.
And they've had the duo that has done it. George Khalil, Chris Burke, and Robbie Glendenning led off the 3rd, where the Aces took the lead initially after falling behind 2-0. Khalil walked to lead off that frame, as here he takes the first pitch from Lott in there for a called strike. Khalil 0 for 2 on the day, but he walked and scored in his first at bat. Lott, the right-hander, in the stretch, he deals. Khalil hits that one towards second base. Running towards it is Ward. Sliding stop, and that just keeps it from rolling to the right fielder. George Khalil gets a base hit. Ward goes all out, but it's hit number 13 for the Aces.
Wasn't hit that hard. I had a feeling that Ward was going to make that play without much trouble, but it just had that what they call a little seeing eye single. It just found that a little too far for him.
Just to the right spot. And a good runner on first base for George Khalil. Now that brings up the lefty in Chris Burke. who has been on a tear as of late. He's reached base 3 of 4 times. He's came to the plate today. Twice he's scored runs as the first pitch misses low, 1-0.
Both these guys have been on a tear, haven't they? Khalil and Burke. Really good to see Khalil settling in, making that position his own.
Yeah, he had a tough start to the season hitting-wise, but
Yep.
it was really in Adelaide where his offensive numbers started perking up. And the glove has been there all year. Burke has just been hurting for playing time. It's a push bunt foul down the third base line. A nice idea, but it will go as a foul ball.
Yeah, I remember Khalil coming in last year in those sort of little exhibition games that we played. Super nice kid. You weren't sure, where he was going to fit, and then sure enough, here he is. Takes a little while to adjust, I guess, at some point to move up. Last year was not at this level as the rosters were sort of cobbled together with who was around.
Chris Burke, though, has been a mainstay in this Melbourne team for a couple of years now, in his 6th season with the Aces at just 21 years old. Weak grounder off of his own leg, and it's 1-2.
We were talking about that yesterday, that idea that these guys are Aces veterans, but they're still only 21, 22. That's a lot of experience under their belt, which really, really helps.
And Burke, who started as a catcher as well, now an outfielder. So undergoing a lot of changes in a short time at such a young age. I mean, that can't be easy on a guy.
No.
So it's a 1-2 count now to Burke. Khalil takes a short lead off first. He hasn't tried to steal a base all year. Cut on a miss, strike 3. Throw back to first base. Saved by Spence. But Chris Burke is retired on strikes for the first out of the 8th.
Yeah, it's a quirky league, and I think you talk to these guys, and sometimes it takes a little while to get used to it, the weird little travel, and it's not necessarily at the amenities that you have in the American minor leagues. In some places, certainly do here, but in other ballparks, you don't necessarily have that.
I mean, this is really as major league and in terms of MLB as you get in the ABL.
Yes.
Obviously, there's nothing that compares to that. I mean, talking to some of these major league guys like Aaron Whitefield, Ryan LaVarnway, I mean, some of the things they've told me about the spreads they get in major league clubhouses is remarkable.
Is that right?
1-0 to Glendenning now as Lott deals. Called first strike. It's 1-1.
That's a nice little breaking ball right there.
I think it was, I don't remember if it was Whitefield or Varnway, but one of them told me that Yankee Stadium especially really pulls out all the stops. It's pretty much just a buffet where you can get almost anything you want. Like, we're talking prime cuts of steak and just anything under the sun you can imagine some of these major league ballparks are serving to these pros.
Prime rib. Big game tonight. I think I'll have the prime rib. T-bone steak.
Nothing fuels you up like that, I'll tell you. Two-1 now to Glendenning, a guy who many believe has a major league future. I'm one of those people. Couple injuries in his minor league career, but he has just hit wherever he's gone. 2-1. Fouled away, and it's 2-2.
He's another one of those mainstay guys, too, that have been in the league for, seems like forever, but certainly a youngster.
6 years with Perth in his first season with the Aces this year. He was talking about just the emotions that he's preparing for going back to the Perth Heat. A little different when they came here in the second series of the season, but going back will be difficult for him. High fly ball out into right field, right to McArdle. He makes the catch in front of the track, and there's out number 2. Glendenning's been hitting the ball real well tonight.
He actually has. That ball to right field, of course, sort of stays in where the ones to left and center carry out, so that probably never was going to make it. Perth Heat, by the way, unbelievable organization. Just have been at the top for years, have some great managers, great players, great fans. Unfortunately, wouldn't mind them losing a game or two coming in, but they are an incredible organization.
Well, Aces fans need them to lose 5, to be exact.
Yep, that's doable.
I think it is, especially because the Aces are playing them for 4 of them. 1-0 now to Skoll as the breaking ball misses outside. Looks like it might be Dan McGraw up in the Aces bullpen. He has turned into the closer in the latter stages of this season. 2 big saves in Sydney and a win for the Aces last night. And it's that time of the season where you just need to put your best arm out there regardless of how much they've pitched. But McGraw had some time off with the injury, so his arm might be fresher. 2-0 to Skoll, hit foul over the left field stands.
As you said, it's playoff baseball, right? You're going to have to exhaust anything you can. Players, pitchers, plays.
And could be why Peter Moylan's put the same lineup that worked so well yesterday out today. I mean, if it ain't broke, don't fix it.
Yeah, that's right.
And it's certainly not broke.
No.
Aces have put together over 20 hits and 12 runs in the past 2 nights with this exact group. Skoll hits this one high in the air out to center field. Carr on the track. He's going to settle under it and make the catch on some brown turf, and that looked really close to breaking this game open. But the Aces still maintain the lead despite stranding a runner on a hit. No one did score, but last chance for the Adelaide Giants. Mike Marcantonini's going to have the call for the 9th. Ed's going to stay in the booth if he wants.
Sure, why not?
You guys want him in the booth, right? I'll take your silence as a yes. 5-4 Aces heading into the 9th inning.
For over 40 years, All Green Nursery has been providing the communities of Melbourne's western and northern suburbs the best advice and results for their gardens. Our retail centre, indoor plant space and expansive nursery floor showcases over 150 varieties of vibrant plants, most of them grown locally right here in Werribee South. We have qualified horticulturists on site to help assist with all your gardening needs, and our home decor section is stocked with a full range of quality options. All Green Nursery, your local plant nursery and garden centre. Visit our sites in Hoppers Crossing and Epping. All-Star Access Hire are your access equipment specialists. We have an extensive range of state-of-the-art equipment, and we pride ourselves on delivering outstanding customer service. We have the youngest fleet of equipment in Victoria, and we are consistently adding new machines. We get to know our customers and form partnerships with them. This video is of our partnership with the Victorian Government at Reservoir Station. All-Star Access Hire are proud sponsors of the Melbourne Aces and our All-Star Bar.
Aces clinging to a 1-run lead, top of the 9th inning at Melbourne Ballpark. Aussie Mike back with you in the broadcast booth. Ed Wyatt sticking around for another inning. 5 runs on 13 hits, no errors for the Aces. 4 runs on 6 hits, 2 errors for the Giants. Southpaw Dan McGraw on to close things out for Melbourne. McGraw has turned into the new closer for the Aces as the Aces look to win back-to-back games for the first time since round 2 against Perth. First pitch of the inning to Quincy Lattimore's off the plate. It's Lattimore, Carr, and Spence as McGraw looks to pick up his 3rd save of the season for the Aces. All of his last 3 appearances out of the bullpen, 2 saves and a win. How about another save tonight, Ed?
That is an extraordinary statistic, that back-to-back stat.
It's been a while.
Yeah, that's amazing.
1-0, that's outside.
And he's got 3 dangerous hitters, let's be honest. 4, in fact, if they can get somebody on. Lattimore, Carr, Spence, and McArdle. All of them have hit tonight. 2 of them, Carr and McArdle, have hit home runs.
Well, some notes for the Aces tonight. A season-high 13 hits. Their previous season high was 12. 13 hits tonight. A lot of singles, but getting the job done. Just manufacturing runs.
Yep. We talked about that. Josh and I did about that small ball.
Chopper to third. Easy for Dale. Across the diamond to George. 5-3 the put out number 1 in the 9th.
Good start. Very good start.
McGraw got the win last night. He pitched the 10th inning, gave up a run. It was unearned because it was one of the place runners who scored.
Yep.
Gave up 1 hit, struck out 1, walked 1 through 18 pitches. And this is the second time in two rounds that he's gone back-to-back games. And pretty impressive for a guy who spent some time on the injured list. Now, of course, it wasn't an arm injury, but still, to come back from the injured list and then pitch on back-to-back days twice in consecutive rounds.
Absolutely right.
So here's Jared Carr, the center fielder. Made a grab at the warning track in the last inning. Aces couldn't get any more insurance in the bottom of the 8th. They made it close. A couple good swings in that inning, but McGraw looking to save a 1-run game. He saved both wins in Sydney. And he's about to be 1 out away. Ground ball to Khalil, over to George.
George Khalil to Darryl George.
2 up, 2 down. McGraw making things look easy. Well, Matt Beattie didn't have it tonight. He did not record an out.
No.
Gave up a couple runs. But since then, Ed, John Kennedy needed just 8 pitches to get 3 outs. Blake Townsend needed just 7 to get 3 outs in his first appearance of the season in the 8th. And now Dan McGraw is making quick work of the Giants in the 9th.
Indeed he is, and that's exactly what you want.
Well, here's Liam Spence, the last chance for the Giants. This game big for the Aces. They need a win to avoid being eliminated from playoff contention. Pitch outside.
Still alive mathematically. Win tomorrow and Perth lose, and you go to Perth. All
Anything
on the
can
line.
happen. Yeah. 2 gone and no one on. Count 1-1 on Spence. Swing and a miss. Good changeup. Well, Ed, the stat about the last time the Aces won back-to-back games, they did it on technically November 19th and 20th, but both wins came on November 20th because of the suspended game.
Right.
An 8-6 win and an 11-4 win in 7 innings over Perth in round 2. Aces took 3 of 4 from the Heat in that series, but it's been since then since they won back-to-back. But looking to right the ship late in the season, and like you said, a Perth loss tomorrow, an Aces win, the Aces win that makeup game against GK. It all comes down to that round 10 in Perth.
It does.
2-2 from McGraw. Got him. Dan McGraw comes into the ball game, retires all 3 batters he faces, and the Aces have back-to-back wins for the first time since late November. A 5-4 win for the Aces. They pound out a season-high 13 hits. What a win for the Aces tonight, Ed.
Yeah, great stuff. I mean, to do this back-to-back, as you mentioned, hasn't happened in a while. We had all the elements of a lead, Adelaide come back. Are we going to be able to hang on? Yes, some great stuff, some pitching in the clutch. John Kennedy, Blake Townsend, Dan McGraw, 3 great innings between those 3 guys coming out of the bullpen. As you mentioned, Beattie didn't really have it tonight, but those 3 come in, get the job done. Just a great team effort again. Offense, defense, pitching, strategy, it all worked.
Aces got something cooking here late in the season. We'll hang around here on the postgame show for a few minutes, and we'll buy Josh Sperber some time to get downstairs. He's going to do a postgame interview on the field. But you got the fireworks show last night, a walk-off win for the Aces, keeping the winning vibes going tonight and in front of another big crowd. Putting the postseason picture talk aside, I mean, this was just another fun game and a good win.
Yeah, that's exactly right, and that's kind of some of what's been missing this year. Some of the losses haven't been blowouts, but they just haven't been that sort of exciting Aces baseball that we've seen these last couple days. And even, I guess, going into Sydney, even though a couple of those were losses, there was some excitement, there was some energy. And I think that really says a lot about Peter Moylan and Graham Lloyd and the entire organization in my mind, that you can kind of keep the energy going, you can keep the chemistry together, and I think it's a good, positive thing for the clubhouse.
Absolutely, and it looks like Josh is ready down on the field. He's with Jake Skoll. Josh, take it away down on the field.
that 7th inning. Take me through that at bat.
It's the nature of baseball. It's just a grind, and had a lot of guys on the bench, kind of working on things, and thank God for that.
Waiting on the bench is the DH, or does it not make much of a difference?
A little bit. You like to help out the game in any way you can. Obviously, as DH, you can only hit, but you're still cheering everybody on. Everybody's very capable defensively, so it's makes it easy, makes it a little less stressful, I think, on the bench.
There is a little bit more stress in these kind of games with the last round of the season coming up. Still got a chance for the playoffs. Any different approach to this series that you guys have taken?
Not really. All year or all season, these guys have been grinding, and it's been a tough road. But it's like I said, it's a grind. We felt it, and we're still just kind of piecing things together. But it's fun to see it come together. So it's really nice.
And it really has started coming together for Jake and the Aces. 2 more games at home this regular season. I know. What are you going to say to these fans about finishing this one off strong?
Shoot, we need you here, fans. So we need these 2 wins. Anytime you win, it's better than losing. So, come on out, support the Aces.
Tomorrow at 1, Tuesday at 7, some more games here at Melbourne Ballpark. We need you guys here packing the ballpark for the end of this regular season. Thanks a lot, Jake. Good luck the rest of the way. Mike, Ed, back to you guys.
All right, thanks, Josh, and thanks to Jake Skoll for taking the time with the post-game interview. That's a good-looking mustache right there,
It is, with that bandana working well, too. I got to admit, it's a great look. Look, it's great to be able to have Josh or yourself down there doing those interviews, right? It's been a while because of the way the season's panned out. It's so good to, like I said, that positive energy coming back around this club. And even if they do fall short, there's a sense that, hey, they turned the thing around. They had some stuff going at the end, and it didn't just the season didn't just kind of drift or fade away. It actually ended kind of with a bit of a bang.
That's a great point. One final note before we give you the final totals. Ed, you talked about a lot of close games and some tough losses. The Aces with this game tonight, they've played 16 games decided by 2 runs or less. They're 8-8 in those games.
Wow.
And that's a pretty good record considering a lot of 1-run games. But a couple more shake out a different way, and they're 10-6 or maybe 12-4, whatever. The entire season's different. But
absolutely right.
Taking a look at the highlights from tonight, a couple early home runs from the Giants. But Steve Kent did a great job rebounding.
He did an absolutely wonderful job. What do you expect? That's why you bring a guy like that in here, veteran presence, isn't daunted by giving up those 2 home runs, comes back and strikes out the side the inning after he gives up those 2 home runs.
Adelaide led for about essentially a half inning, but after that, the Aces led the entire way. So Robbie Glendinning brought home the first Aces run of the night with an RBI single to left center. And it was good to see Robbie, after a hitless night last night, played a run. And then there's a replay of Jake Skoll beating out an infield hit. But Darryl George had a game-tying infield hit, a go-ahead run on a wild pitch. And then the Aces' insurance runs later in the game were huge because the Giants didn't quit.
I hate to keep saying small ball because that's not essentially correct. But tonight, passed balls, bunt singles, 2 of them, infield hits, key hits in a moment, stolen bases, little things like that. We weren't relying on the home run. Adelaide did, but we end up on top.
Well, the Aces do finish this one on top. Back-to-back wins for the first time since late November. Final totals in this one, the Aces, with the win, move to 14-20 on the season. The Giants dropped to 21-14. 5 runs on 13 hits, no errors for the Aces. 4 runs on 6 hits, 2 errors for the Giants. Steve Kent gets his first win of the season. He was excellent in 6 innings of 2-run ball. He struck out 6 and did not walk a batter, scattering 3 hits. He's 1-2 now on the year. The loss goes to Starlin Castillo. He left with a knee injury after 2+. He drops to 3-3. Dan McGraw picks up his 3rd save in his many save chances. His last 4 outings, save, win, save. Game was played in 2 hours and 51 minutes in front of another great crowd, 1,373 fans here at Melbourne Ballpark. Another really great turnout tonight, Ed, and another great outcome.
Yeah, absolutely right. Thanks for having me in booth. It's been a lot of fun seeing 2 consecutive wins, as you mentioned. It's been a while, but just to be here at the ballpark with those big crowds, it's just been special.
It's great to have you in the booth. I know I speak for Josh as well when I say the broadcast is better when you're a part of it. So, Ed, we appreciate you taking some time. We'll have you back on again tomorrow for the second-to-last home game in the regular season for the Aces. Well, I want to give a shout-out to our Sportscast Australia crew, as always, for the work that they do. For Ed and my broadcast partner, Josh Wyatt, I'm Michael Mark Cantonini saying, have a great night, everybody. We'll be back tomorrow. First pitch at 1 p.m. Eastern Time. We'll be on air with the Brick Lane pregame show a few minutes prior. Take it easy, everybody. We'll be back for more Aces Baseball tomorrow. TV.